The time to part ways always was unavoidably emotional. After repeated imploring, Lin Yingmei, Wu Xinjie, Wu Xiao and Shi Yuan were the first to leave. Su Xing brought the other beauties back to the immortal's abode. Not long after Su Xing left, when Wu Xinjie saw that Su Xing was no longer present, she then stopped her advance, saying, Yingmei, Xiao, let us part here for now. Lin Yingmei and Wu Xiao were stunned, having not anticipated that the knowledge star would suddenly mention this parting. What are you thinking of doing? Wu Xiao asked. It is clear and easy to see. Xinjie is preparing to go to old tombs and ruins together with Yuan. Wu Xinjie smiled. Ruins, you did not mention this to Lord Husband before. Wu Xiao wrinkled her brows. If Xinjie had said so just now, young Lord definitely would not have agreed. Xinjie does not wish to make him worry. Ruins are very useful in the star duels. Wu Xinjie said. Your servant shall accompany you. Lin Yingmei nodded and said. Yingmei, you cannot. Your mission is to gather star weapon materials. Wu Xinjie shook her head. Your servant cannot allow you to go to those ruins. Lin Yingmei knew the dangers of ruins, so how could she have agreed? Wu Xinjie had lost her star nest. If she died, that would be a starfall. Lin Yingmei was unable to undertake this sort of risk. Xinjie still has Yuan in accompaniment. Wu Xinjie soothed. The two of you going to ruins is too dangerous. Your servant cannot allow elder sister to go. Lin Yingmei did not compromise at all. Little sister Yingmei, Xinjie knows you care about elder sister, but now is not the time to argue. For star-destined weapon materials are hard to find. Success in 1 month is too uncertain. If we split more, there will then be more opportunities. Now is the time we should be thinking about young lord. Yingmei, are you not able to better protect young lord with a higher level star weapon? But even so, your servant must protect the knowledge star and thief star. Lin Yingmei's expression was very resolute. When Wu Xinjie saw that Lin Yingmei was this dedicated, she was somewhat touched. Yingmei, elder sister appreciates your good intentions, but Xinjie has Hua Shui and the 8 gates black gold chain. Yuan, we are only exploring old tombs. We will not face any dangers. Arguing further will only waste time, making young lord face more danger. Wu Xinjie chuckled. Knowing that Su Xing's safety would always be Lin Yingmei's #1 priority, as expected, after saying this, Lin Yingmei hesitated for a moment. Wu Xiao saw the situation, and she stepped forward to say, Yingmei, what the knowledge star said is true. Allow her to go to the tombs and ruins. This way, chances will be greater some, and, seeing that Lin Yingmei wanted to refute, Wu Xiao's words changed topic. Yingmei, could it be that you feel the ranked 3rd knowledge star that has signed a contract will degenerate to such a degree she would be killed by someone? Let alone that she is a knowledge star who possesses the 8 gates black gold chain. Yingmei, acting like a protective mother only insults the knowledge star's dignity. Wu Xiao concluded. These words made Lin Yingmei speechless. Then, elder sister, be careful. Lin Yingmei tightly bit her lip, setting down very big determination. All of a sudden, a figure floated. Wu Xinjie advanced several steps forward, her lips kissing Lin Yingmei's lips like a dragonfly touching a water lily, softly saying, Thank you, little sister, for your concern. Wu Xiao and Shi Yuan hung their mouths agape in astonishment. And many thanks to Xiao for understanding. You as well, be careful. The Harm Star and Majestic Star were teamed up. Even if they faced a top-notch cultivator, there was no need to be afraid. Wu Xinjie felt this order was somewhat superfluous, and she could not help but laugh. You had best not insult the knowledge star's dignity. Wu Xiao grunted. Of course, after all, the knowledge star had once attended the 7 stars assembly. Wu Xinjie smiled. Lin Yingmei and Wu Xiao sat upon their star beasts and rode with the wind. The two turned their gazes away. Sister Xinjie, you're so bold. Shi Yuan blushed. Xinjie yielded young lord to Yingmei last night. Xinjie was only receiving a bit of interest. Wu Xinjie waved her hand. Shi Yuan grumbled some words, her expression quite envious of their relationship with Su Xing. Just how does it feel when you do that sort of stuff with young lord? Shi Yuan curiously asked. The thief star saw Wu Xinjie wrinkled her brows. Don't tell me it feels really terrible. Shi Yuan madly perspired. Huh? No. Wu Xinjie shook her head, wryly smiling, very sensual and very good. Then why did elder sister frown just now? Shi Yuan did not understand. Because young lord is too vigorous. Xinjie is powerless to support that, so Yuaner, you must quickly help elder sister alleviate a bit of the pressure. Wu Xinjie slightly winked. These words made thief star flee on a drum's cheeks and ears burn red. However, in fact, Wu Xinjie's wrinkled brow was that whenever she was at the climax, this world seemed to become unprecedentedly unreal. She felt very wonderful yet also very strange. Could it be that was so-called ecstasy? Wu Xinjie thought. Sister Xinjie, which ruins are we going to now? This young lady is somewhat impatient. Shi Yuan rubbed her palms. This ought to be the time for the best thief under heaven to take the stage. Wu Xinjie nodded. She already made arrangements. Her wrist flipped, and a simple token popped out. This is the connecting heaven token. Wu Xinjie explained. Su Xing obtained it when he originally killed that Prince Go or whatever. Afterwards, it was then handed over to her afterwards because of her own initiative. However, because they experienced too many things, Wu Xinjie had nearly forgotten about it. When she saw that connecting heaven pagoda, it was only then she recalled that this token existed. The connecting heaven token was the certificate that could open the connecting heaven ancient tomb of Liangshan's 7 great ancient tombs. Deciphering this token's information allowed entry. Wu Xinjie was very expectant of what pleasant surprises lay inside Liangshan's legendary 7 great ancient tombs. I'm gonna faint. The connecting heaven ancient tomb, Sister Xinjie, why didn't you tell elder sister Yingmei just now? This was a legendary 7 great ancient tomb. Shi Yuan did not dare be careless. If Xinjie said so, Yingmei definitely would not be at ease about us. Now is a race against time. We must separate in order to be able to bring about opportunities. Wu Xinjie seriously said. Shi Yuan understood. Yuaner, are you afraid? Wu Xinjie smiled. Shi Yuan patted her chest, full of self-confidence. This young lady is but the best thief under heaven. Let alone the connecting heaven ancient tomb, this young lady does not fear even the star-shattering burial mound, too, known as the place for Star General starfalls. The star-shattering burial mound counts, too. The fire beacon chariot flew high towards the south. At this time, Su Xing brought the remaining beauties finally back to the Four Styles school. After making his greetings, Su Xing then entered the Immortal's abode. And Suan began to self-cultivate in the Immortal's abode while Tang Lianxin and Yan Yizhen went to Kagoshima Island to procure every sort of medicine and stone materials. Everything was in the middle of thoroughly arranged progress, and Su Xing quickly collected the finishing Evil Smiting writ to immediately enter Evil Smiting Hall with Gongsun Huang, not stopping for a moment. The clouds and mist were boundless, the mountains extending 1,000 ren. The place Su Xing and Gongsun Huang appeared at surprisingly was 10,000 zhang in the sky. Their bodies suddenly fell, and Su Xing immediately used wandering the clear skies to stabilize his figure. He sized up the Evil Smiting Hall that he had not seen in a long time. Evil Smiting Hall had already reached a state of quiet by this point in time. The past warbling, roars, hoots and howls had already vanished. The deathly stillness was somewhat frightening. At this time, the other star masters that fought against time had mostly already accomplished their star beasts in Evil Smiting Hall because as time passed by, the harder it was to find a star beast. As Su Xing flew, he helped Gongsun Huang scan for star beasts. As he searched in the sky, suddenly, Gongsun Huang tugged Su Xing's clothes. Lowly dragon in the clouds pointed to a place beneath the sea of clouds. Su Xing was perplexed. Listening carefully, he seemingly could vaguely hear a clear and cute song enter his ear. Beneath a red sun that burns like fire, half scorched in the fields is the grain. Poor peasant hearts with worry are scalded, while the rich themselves idly fan. 3. Staring, a voice flipped through the forest. Su Xing spotted a petite white figure skipping vivaciously along. As she hopped, she sang, extremely adorable. Su Xing had an urge to go look. His gaze asked Gongsun Huang, and the girl nodded. Su Xing descended. Not outside of expectations, the singing girl was about the same as Gongsun Huang in age. She wore simple white clothes and had a naive and innocent baby face. Her eyes were very large, like a doll's. Cute like a sculpted piece of jade to the last detail, particularly that expression, those eyes were clearly extremely adorable. She truly was Mo. Su Xing very much had the urge to hug and give her a great kiss. Maiden Mountain Star maidens had so many little lolas. This was truly shameful. The little loli's eyes were in a daze. Seeing Su Xing descend from the sky, she shrunk back her feeble shoulders, somewhat timidly, but she did not flee. It seemed she apparently knew running served no purpose. However, at this time, Su Xing noticed that one side of the girl's pure white garment was soaked in blood from head to toe. That dazzling red immediately ripped apart the image of cuteness with a ghastly sight. Su Xing felt his heart hurt. He advanced a step, and the little loli immediately cowered back, taking a step backwards. She looked anxiously at Su Xing, the timidity in her eyes making him hurt. "Big brother won't hurt you," Su Xing said. However, a Star Master's words clearly did not have any persuasiveness. The little girl seemed innocent, yet she had a Star General's instinctive vigilance. Fearing she was excitable, Su Xing did not forcefully move forward. Using his most warm tone, he said, "Big brother is called Su Xing. This is little Huang, dragon in the clouds Gongsun Huang, big brother's Star General, about the same age as you. What's your name?" "Huh?" The little girl was slightly shocked. Those large eyes looked at Gongsun Huang. "Are you the leisure star?" Gongsun Huang gently nodded, also watching her very attentively. The two girls gazed at each other, the contrast extremely clear. One was a top-notch Martial General No. 1 in magic energy, the ranked 4th leisure star. The other was one who did not have any martial force or magic energy, the subpar ranked 106th rat star. "I am called by Yutang, 5, the Tang of Candy." 6. Fearing that Su Xing would misunderstand, the little girl specially explained. "What a cute name. How could she be so cute?" Su Xing wanted to take a bite out of her. What sort of Star General was such a dazzlingly cute little loli? Su Xing truly felt even more inquisitive. It was just that having waited a long time, the girl seemed to be unwilling to say another word, but she showed a pitiable expression as she looked at Su Xing. Her gaze had a difficult to conceal fear, but she did not have any despair or the like, which made Su Xing give her another level of respect. Su Xing had a sort of feeling that this was unfair. Contrary to expectations, the girl was very calm and innocent, but a face of admiration. Without envy or hate, those pupils that were clearer than lakewater surpassed all the gems in the world. Right, the birth treasure outline. Su Xing flipped out the birth treasure outline, and Bai Yutang took another step back. The data very quickly manifested. A row of golden characters like reversed images manifested. Star position, Rat Star. Star name, Bai Sheng. 2, nickname, Daylight Rat. 3, true name, Bai Yutang. Rank, 106 star. Weapon, Dreamless, 0 star. Star Beast, Realm, Heartbeat. 5th stage, 5, innate skill, Wine brewing, 6, 5 elements, Wood. Yellow. Rank. Special move, Worry free without a care, 7, dark. Rank. Special move, None. Current status, no contractor, weak, cannot be conquered. Detailed materials, Star Dual Covenant cannot be signed within Evil Smiting Hall. such a weak star general. Although he was already prepared, when he finished looking at the birth treasure outlines material, Su Xing still was greatly surprised. The little girl before his eyes was surprisingly the 106th rat star daylight rat by Sheng. Seeing that realm, that technique, that star weapon, he thought that she was not a martial force star general. Let alone Su Xing, perhaps even a stardust cultivator could insta-kill her. So weak, no wonder Bai Yutang is that timid and scared. You're hurt. Su Xing somewhat admired the little lowly. The blood flowed without end, but she nevertheless showed great optimism, without any fear, completely carefree and without worries while even singing. However, now that he recalled that singing voice, Su Xing felt even more hurt. Such a cute lowly ought to be protected. Gong Sun Huang beckoned with her hand. A stream of wind trapped Bai Yutang. The little girl then walked over and said something. Only then did Bai Yutang's fears slowly dissipate, yet the caution in her eyes still did not disappear. Su Xing walked over at this time. Turning apart those blood-soaked clothes, inside were several very deep cuts and odd bug bites, like she had been bitten by a goo. Ordinary medicines basically were incapable of curing this. Bai Yutang's waiting eyes curiously followed Su Xing's inspection. A moment later. Little Huang, we saw a creek with all sorts of grasses before. Do you still remember the place? Su Xing hugged the little lowly. The little lowly hesitated for a moment. Her little hand grasped Su Xing's clothes, nervous yet cute. Gong Sun Huang sat on Su Xing's shoulder, nodding. Wandering the clear skies, the little lowly was startled. As one of the renowned star generals, not having flown before was unbelievable. A while later, a lake with hundreds of tender shoots appeared before them. Beside the creek was a ring of countless herbs. The lake water was full of a medicinal fragrance. Evil Smiting Hall had many rarities, and using herbs like this that had soaked in the creek water for several thousand years naturally possessed curing functions, more powerful than some medicines. Relying on the medical arts Su Xing inherited from Ansuan, using these various grasses and medicinal waters in addition to an appropriate method, the goo poison in the wound could still be dispelled. However, first of all, he needed to face an extremely great battle. Little Candy, 8, can you clean your wound by yourself? Su Xing asked her. Rat Star Daylight Rat Bai Yutang moved her arms. Her expression turned painful, so she clearly was unable to. Do you mind if I help wash you? For the sake of his own reputation, Su Xing had a requirement that he obtain permission from the party involved. He certainly was not that sort of weird uncle that had a lollipop in hand. Bai Yutang thought for a moment. Her very mo eyes wandered between Su Xing and Gong Sun Huang. In the end, she nodded. Su Xing had a righteousness that inspired reverence. He straightened his chest, and then he took off the girl's clothes. Bai Yutang did not oppose, very obediently allowing Su Xing to also take off her trousers. That docile appearance was like a father helping his 6 or 7-year-old daughter bathe. Su Xing's heart originally had an odd feeling, but that also dissipated along with hers. That went without saying, of course. The other person was only 6 or 7 years old, the age of a daughter. There was nothing wrong with someone acting as the big brother to help his little sister take a bath. Su Xing felt that he truly was a weird uncle. Maybe he was thinking too much. Her adorable and sculpted body very quickly was undressed into a great white expanse. Su Xing made Bai Yutang soak in the water as if it were a spa. The little lowly suddenly wrinkled her nose, her expression very painful. Her hands subconsciously grasped tight Su Xing, if it hurts, groan. Su Xing saw that she was resisting the pain. Z. Bai Yutang timidly squeaked. Cough, cough. Su Xing nearly choked, this rat star was too innocent. Now, I'll help you heal and dispel the goo poison. Bear with me. Su Xing warned. Oh. Su Xing first took out some medicine that he applied to his fingertips. Mobilizing his star energy, those sinister wounds twisted along Bai Yutang's soft skin. It appeared very frightening, and Su Xing wondered who could attack such a cute little girl so maliciously. Recalling Jiang Shueishue's completely tragic fate, Su Xing's heart was very angry. The goo poison had already spread across Bai Yutang's body, from her little budding chest all the way down to her thighs. Su Xing actually did not have any feelings of desire. This was merely a father taking care of her wounds. Bit by bit, he dispelled the goo poison. Even if he touched the sensitive places of Bai Yutang's body along the way, he was more worried about whether he would cause her pain. Bai Yutang's willpower was very resilient, not uttering a word during the process to drive out the goo poison, only letting out a rat-like squeak from time to time when things actually were very painful. A very long while after, the dark green poison was finally dispelled by Su Xing. Su Xing's fingertip stroked Bai Yutang's wounds, and then he bandaged them. A star general's body was indestructible. Those seemingly certain scars would naturally completely heal after a time. Done. Su Xing heaved a great sigh. At this time, only then did he notice that little lowly Bai Yutang had fainted onto his chest from the pain. Those little hands clutched at Su Xing as if he was life-saving duckweed, already full of trust for him. Su Xing looked at Bai Yutang and truly felt resentment. If Maiden Mountain wanted star duels, then star duels it was, but to take this 7 or 8-year-old girl to be a star general was too inhuman. Su Xing saw that she had fainted from the pain. Her body was full of cold sweat. Quickly thinking, he might as well help bathe her. With great censorship in his mind, Su Xing did this all absolutely without evil thoughts, without the slightest bit of distraction. Your Highness. Suddenly, a very soft voice entered his ear. Su Xing gasped. He had nearly give his own wife the cold shoulder. Little Huang, apologies. Su Xing turned his head back, and his eyes nearly popped out of their sockets. Gongsun Huang walked on the water's surface. Her red cloak had already been taken off, and her body was threadbare, about the same size of Bai Yutang's body. However, Su Xing still could not stop his heart from skipping a beat. Little Huang, what are you doing? Gongsun Huang's eyes were still exceedingly refined. Blinking, she watched the quietly sleeping rat star, that expression seemingly saying, I want to bathe. Speaking, her figure floated, reaching Su Xing's chest. Her soft and satiny skin was extremely silky. Su Xing made himself calm down. This place is infused with hundreds of medicines, bathing will be healthy. These words seemed somewhat strange. Gongsun Huang shook her head. She opened her arms, glimpsing her completely unprotected intimate places. Her expression's meaning was even clearer. She wanted to have Su Xing help her. 9. Su Xing could not possibly favor and discriminate one over the other, hurting little Huang's heart, but he did not know why little Huang's naked body was apparently even more enticing than Bai Yutang. Obviously, the pair were the same in age, their figures identically developed. Could it be that Gongsun Huang had those traits? Su Xing shook his head, dispelling the wicked thoughts in his heart. He would treat it as a father helping his daughter take a bath. Su Xing felt there was no big deal. Great censorship, do you feel this way, too? His fingertips stroked across Gongsun Huang's skin, the satiny feeling somewhat comfortable. The little lowly was very pleasured, sitting against Su Xing's chest. Su Xing wore clothes, and although the scene would anger men and gods alike, reaching the stage of censorship's glowering eyes, any way it was put, this could not count as dubious any way it was put. Does your highness wish to contract her? Gongsun Huang enjoyed the caresses of Su Xing's fingertips, her voice somewhat floating with satisfaction. Little Huang, what do you feel? Su Xing asked for her opinion. Gongsun Huang nodded. She would not oppose. She was actually quite fond of this cute little sister that was the same age as her. However, I can't sign a contract in Evil Smiting Hall. This is relatively troublesome. Slowly, Su Xing forgot about his previous awkwardness. Discussing matters of Bai Yutang was somewhat distressing. The little lowly's nature had a sort of feeling that made one want to protect her. If he could contract her, Su Xing felt this was not a bad thing, but the problem was that though the distance in Evil Smiting Hall appeared very close, it was possible that it was considerably very far. However, at the present time, Su Xing was in a rush to refine the earth element flying sword. This matter could not be delayed. Go ask her. Gong Sun Huang said. But would she contract? Su Xing laughed. Your Highness is very special. Gong Sun Huang said. Am I? The person in question actually did not feel so. Woo. Suddenly, Gong Sun Huang moaned. Her slim legs subconsciously clamped Su Xing's fingers between them. Su Xing was taken aback. He noticed that he was not paying attention as he was chatting just now, however, at this time, acting guilty would make the two embarrassed. Su Xing pretended that nothing had happened as his fingertips swept past that flower, seizing the chance to pull his hand out from Gong Sun Huang's clamping legs. You're just about cleaned up. Can little Huang wipe herself clean? Gong Sun Huang nodded, her face slightly red. Hua. There was a voice to the side. Little Candy, you woke up. Su Xing knew that she had already awoken. His discussion with Gong Sun Huang just now ought to have been heard by her. Bai Yutang nodded and curiously looked at Su Xing and Gong Sun Huang's intimate position. Where are you now? Do you wish to sign a contract with me? Su Xing asked her. Contract? Bai Yutang blinked her eyes, somewhat bewildered. Star Duel Covenant. Su Xing reminded her. At this time, the corner of his shirt was tugged. Gong Sun Huang's naked body wanted Su Xing to help dress her clothes. Su Xing honestly felt that he had become a father, older brother, or the like, and Gong Sun Huang had that sort of feeling of the little sister that would not grow up. Without thinking, he picked up those little pieces of underwear for Gong Sun Huang to wear. Dragon in the Clouds very seldom took the initiative like this, and Su Xing naturally would not wrong her. I can't star duel. Bai Yutang said. It's okay, big sister and big brother will protect you. Su Xing was fully self-confident. Oh. Bai Yutang was non-committal. Well? Where are you right now? Su Xing asked her. I'm hosted inside elder sister's restaurant. Bai Yutang saw that the gu wounds had been expelled, so she was slightly faithful in Su Xing. However, to be able to make Bai Yutang believe in him this much, Gong Sun Huang also was a major reason. Her relaxed nature made Su Xing tenderly help put on her clothes. That sort of feeling of trust inadvertently fused into Bai Yutang's heart. Sensing this point, Su Xing truly secretly admired Gong Sun Huang was just a bit like a sage that posed as an ordinary person. What's the restaurant called? What province? Su Xing asked her. Province, Bai Yutang did not understand. The restaurant is called, Drunken Something, Your Highness, look out. Just at this moment, a shadow flew down from the sky. Gong Sun Huang waved her hand, and a clump of green light flew out of her palm to slam right into the shadow. The shadow was several green viper flying blades. Su Xing's expression sunk, and he shielded Bai Yutang. The little lowly was somewhat afraid, yet she did not flee. In the forest came a rustling. A gigantic green snake slithered out, spitting out its terrifying snake tongue. Its green light fully flourished, emitting a poisonous presence. Upon this green snake's head was a little girl of a very young age. She wore green long clothes and wore a snake tiara. It was yet another lowly. Truly, this was a conference of lowless. However, compared to Gong Sun Huang's exceedingly refined manner and Bai Yutang's timid confusion, the expression of the lowly in front of him was the epitome of malice. I already knew it was you. To be able to use such poisonous means against such a cute little girl, there is only a similarly uncute little girl. Su Xing twitched his lips. The one riding the green snake was not just anyone. She was the ranked 34th Savage Star double-headed serpent Xie Diao. Bamboo leaf green flying blades fluttered around Xie Diao's whole body. Her smile blossomed, and just who are you? Su Xing's expression withered. Xie Diao had forgotten about him. But, That is not important. You will become goo materials for Xie Diao. Xie Diao extended a hand. Little Green, advance. Little Huang, you protect Little Candy. Careful of her star master, Su Xing surreptitiously used sound transmission. Gongsun Huang nodded. Since he was fighting against time and had rushed straight back into Evil Smiting Hall from the Buddha Kingdom. Although his energy had more or less recovered, that was prepared to be used in Star Beast capture. Su Xing could not allow Gongsun Huang to once again squander her magic energy, otherwise, he would have wasted time again. A Star Master unexpectedly wishes to face Xie Diao's green-scaled unicorn python. 10. Little Green, do not hesitate to eat this annoying man. Xie Diao ordered. The green-scaled unicorn python's length was at least 300 feet. Its bucket-like body would need 2 fully grown men to span around it. The moss-green snakeskin was not only glossy like a mirror, it could also move across any terrain as if it were flying. Its black stripes were proof of the green-scaled unicorn python's poisonous nature, spiraling from its tail to its head where it concentrated into a strange flower pattern. In the middle of the flower pattern was a sharp horn. This horn appeared to be a strange black and red color, thus it was called a goo poison horn. The green-scaled unicorn python opened its mouth. Xie Diao snorted and then broke away from the green-scaled unicorn python's head, flying into the air. Her eyes were like a viper's, staring for gaps in Su Xing's group. So long as there was any slack, this little loli would not hesitate at all to send her goo poison flying blade into her opponent's body. Su Xing called forth his flying swords. However, before the flying swords could strike, they were obstructed by Xie Diao's several hundred flying blades. Each flying blade had 4 stars. Surprisingly, this was an impressive 4-star destined weapon. This made Su Xing not dare to be careless. Giving up on abilities that senselessly squandered star energy, Su Xing decided to simply use brute force to bring about victory. Thinking of this, instantly, Su Xing already quietly approached, raising the heaven tearing in his hand, hacking at the green-scaled unicorn python's head. It seemed that Su Xing was very familiar with the green-scaled unicorn python. His attack was straightforward, directly fatal. He wanted to destroy the green-scaled unicorn python's horn. So long as the symbol of the green-scaled unicorn python suffered heavy damage, the green-scaled unicorn python's power would greatly diminish. If he slashed other spots, of course he was capable of giving the green-scaled unicorn python certain injury, but the effectiveness nevertheless was not as distinct as attacking this horn. Its weak point was too obvious. Su Xing shouted, flying onto its head. The green-scaled unicorn python suddenly turned its head 180 degrees, spotting the twinkling, solemn might of Buddhist light that was as gorgeous and glaring as the sword light of heaven tearing appearing in front of its eyes. The green-scaled unicorn python indignantly bellowed. The horn on its forehead released black light. A black light deep as the night sky instantly swallowed Su Xing. Su Xing's divine intent moved, instantly advancing through and tearing apart the black light. Circulating his star energy, his cold silhouette suddenly appeared. Sneering, the weapon in his hand brought an air-shattering shriek and violent astral wind, ruthlessly slashing into the green-scaled unicorn python's back. Directly entering deep, the light of the crimson slash practically cut its body in 2. Boom! The green-scaled unicorn python seemed to have been struck by lightning. Its body violently shuddered, throwing back its head to shriek. Its tail heavily swung at Su Xing. How could Xie Diao's star beast have underestimated him? Just the wind from raising its tail was enough to blow Su Xing away. Seizing this fleeting moment, the green-scaled unicorn python suddenly rushed forth, as if it wanted to bind Su Xing like a rope. However, when it opened its mouth again, a berserk purple thunder zapped and lacerated its flesh. Xie Diao's complexion was white, her expression fearful. The green-scaled unicorn python screamed. It opened its maw and showed its sinister, ugly mouth. It wanted to bite to pieces this man that made its blood flow, but Su Xing was far more powerful than it thought. Now that Su Xing's combat abilities had gradually matured, a star general with a star weapon was not easy, but confronting this sort of star beast still was not so easily bested. Su Xing knew that he needed to resolve this as soon as possible. Who knew if that lady snake scorpion was spying from somewhere? He fiercely pounced forth, the heaven-tearing divine sword appearing in his hand. He was ready to strike while the iron was hot, once again giving this python several more cuts. The green-scaled unicorn python had erred in estimating Su Xing's battle strength. Its horn let out a beam of black light. Su Xing's sword cut it apart, and then the sword tip made the green-scaled unicorn python's flesh split apart. When the next slash swept forth, the green-scaled unicorn python knew it was in danger. Seeing that the situation was unfavorable, it immediately soared, evading, drawing a certain distance away from Su Xing. That star beast's possessed intelligence looked to be true. Su Xing had mistakenly lost the chance to kill this green-scaled unicorn python. His heart could not help but slightly feel this was somewhat of a pity, but the python was severely wounded, its strength significantly deteriorated. To defeat it, even kill it, actually was not longer an impossible task. Su Xing did not hesitate. His foot stepped on the ground, and then he also soared, rushing again at the green-scaled unicorn python. The green-scale unicorn python stared fixedly at Su Xing. The green light from its snake eyes was like an enormous light in the night that shot in all directions. Covering the red and black-scaled gigantic beast, it swayed now and then, carrying a whistling gale. Its back had a giant wound, as if it had been ripped violently open by some powerful force. Blood flowed continuously from that injury, dripping onto the ground, forming a stream that concentrated into a pool of blood. The green-scaled unicorn python opened its mouth, leaking highly toxic saliva that flowed out of its mouth. Its rage was extremely deep, resentment completely crammed into its mind. It was this Star Master character in front of it that emitted a strong and strange scent from head to toe, giving it a heavy blow, making it suffer an enormous injury. This was practically unbelievable. Star beasts all possessed intelligence. Sensing the anger in its mistress' heart, the green-scaled unicorn python also was mad. Its strength was greatly depleted. As the savage star's star beast, to be injured was an absolute disgrace. Rapidly flicking out its tongue, the green-scaled unicorn python itched to slowly chew apart this human that was more evil than itself, to swallow him into its stomach. Seeing that this target was rushing at it, the green-scaled unicorn python suddenly twisted its body and giant tail, swinging its head down. Su Xing only heard a whoosh. A gale blew, and immediately afterwards, the light above his head went dark. A violent power, like Mount Tai itself, pushed towards him. Su Xing immediately lowered his body, and then he evaded to his left side. With an enormous boom, the green-scaled unicorn python's tail swept past his body, heavily slamming on the lakewater, ripping apart the pool. Suddenly, the 100 Grasses Lake jolted out a wave. The mist lingered, dense and pervasive, mingling with poison, turning the air turbid and evil. When it struck mist, the green-scaled unicorn python did not give Su Xing any chance to catch his breath. Immediately, it began to launch its second wave of attacks. The green-scaled unicorn python opened its mouth. Several dozen thick poison lights sprayed out from its mouth, like massive pythons a size smaller than it. Bellowing, it bared its fangs and pounced towards Su Xing, its momentum astonishing. But the green-scaled unicorn python had only just begun when it suddenly felt its tail was in incomparable pain. Turning its eyes back, it spotted Su Xing's sword tip had already pierced into its tail, as if it was a nail hammered in. The green-scaled unicorn python felt great fury at the same moment. Su Xing also took the opportunity to approach. Calling out the flying swords, they twisted for the kill. Sword light flashed, and the green-scaled unicorn python that had just thought of spitting poison suddenly had its mouth torn open with a bloody cut. The green-scaled unicorn python howled, curling its body. The star beast forcefully repelled Su Xing. The green-scaled unicorn python did not pursue. It knew that today counted as enough. Having encountered an abnormally terrifying opponent, its eyes focused on the lake. At once, it turned and frantically sucked in a mouthful of the 100 grasses lake to use for healing. Fuck. Su Xing thought to himself that this star beast was intelligent, but he would not give it a chance. The next second, his flying swords enthusiastically kissed the green-scaled unicorn python. Su Xing also blasted the green-scaled unicorn python's body with purple mansion immortal thunder and other such powers. Worthy of being called the Savage Star's star beast, even though the green-scaled unicorn python sustained such an assault, it still could prolong its last breaths. Su Xing practically was using full power. The green-scaled unicorn python's snakeskin is very expensive material to use for clothing. Maybe I should give it to Suan. Su Xing licked his lips, chuckling. Before his words finished, Su Xing moved like lightning. Instantly, he scuttled to the green-scaled unicorn python's head, one foot directly stepping on its flat face. Pity that the green-scaled unicorn python had yet to react, for following a snapping noise, its entire body suddenly leapt. In the end, the fierce star beast no longer considered the excruciating pain on its body. The green-scaled unicorn python suddenly opened its mouth, spraying a sort of thick, dark purple smoke. A green tornado engulfed the range of Tu Zhang to the front. The entire lake wildly danced, blowing into an enormous hurricane. The Bai Yutang that was far to one side had retreated to a safe distance upon seeing this scene. What the green-scaled unicorn python sprayed out, Su Xing did not dare taste. His body techniques rapidly retreated. Then, he jumped high. A Buddhist light glowed around his body, and lotus flowers blossomed in midair, becoming a 1,000-layered protection. His body somersaulted in the air. When he descended, his knees already protruded, heavily smashing into the dazed green-scaled unicorn python's head. Puff! Su Xing's knees accurately struck his target. One fist turned the green-scaled unicorn python spitting into a whimper, basically not giving the green-scaled unicorn python any time to cry. Su Xing's body suddenly whirled in midair. When he fell, his right leg carried a frightening whistle as it suddenly plunged. His heavy kick struck upon that horn while the green-scaled unicorn python was still wailing. Suddenly, an enormous power directly chopped it down, leaving an enormous hole in its head. A great amount of blood sprayed out. The green-scaled unicorn python madly writhed its body from the pain. It was infuriated, and Xie Diao also retreated so as to avoid being caught in it. The green-scaled unicorn python finally realized its situation. Trash, quickly kill him. Xie Diao saw that her own star beast was gradually being beaten back, simply feeling that this was unbelievable. Looking at this man, the green-scaled unicorn python knew that today, it had already become the tiny star master's prey. The green-scaled unicorn python was very resentful and very unreconciled. Even if it were to die, it wanted to give the enemy the price of acute pain. Its mistress gave her orders. The green-scaled unicorn python's snake eyes immediately locked onto the faraway Bai Yutang. From the girl's meek attitude, it could ascertain she lacked the strength to even truss a chicken. Harboring this thought, the green-scaled unicorn python raised its remaining power. Its snake tail violently swept back, suddenly piercing towards the girl like a sharp sword. Looking at the girl frozen in shock, the green-scaled unicorn python was confident she had been scared witless by its aggression, and its snake pupils took note out of the corner of its eyes that the man behind it did not move. Of course, that Bai Yutang and that little girl in red cloud clothes probably were merely so. The green-scaled unicorn python fiercely opened its maw. Gongsun Huang's eyes blinked. Suddenly, she raised the pine-brand ancient sword. A red light flit by. She pierced the green-scaled unicorn python's belly. It bellowed, and blood rained down. Su Xing at this time rushed back. His flying swords fell. This star beast was trapped and killed by the flying swords. Xie Diao's head hurt. Agape and tongue-tied, she looked at Su Xing's actions in disbelief. Her star beast had unexpectedly been defeated. Next is your turn. Su Xing's figure flashed, rushing over. Watch this. Countless green viper flying blades flew out, becoming a swift and severe storm. But that green light was very quickly intercepted by Su Xing. His flying swords descended directly from the front. Then, several golden needles rained down, surprising Su Xing. Do not think of hurting elder sister. Another voice came from the heavens. A practically identical little girl descended, and beside her was a beautiful lady. Fuck, the both of them. Su Xing was taken aback. The newcomers were Lady Snake Scorpion and her other Scorpion Star General. Meanwhile, Wu Xinjie and Shi Yuan piloted the fire beacon chariot to very quickly arrive at a mountain cavity. The connecting heaven token had been deciphered by Wu Xinjie. They easily found the entrance, but what the knowledge star did not anticipate was that the exit was abnormally extraordinary. However, Wu Xinjie had yet to enter the connecting heaven tomb when they met with trouble. Ha, elder sister, we meet again. Why do I not see Lin Chong this time? A black-clothed woman, her hand holding a double-edged axe, smiled very thoughtfully. Wu Xinjie was very speechless. This woman was none other than the ranked 105th healthy star god of the dangerous road Yu Yuandan. When they first left Su Xing, they had encountered Yu Yuandan inside the Dragon Tiger ruins. 11. At that time, because they had Lin Chong, Yu Yuandan nearly died, but they did not expect to encounter her once again. Wu Xinjie could not help but sigh that the world was small. However, come to think of it, Yu Yuandan and her star master probably specially sought out these tombs to increase their strength. As far as earthly star were concerned, this indeed was the best route. The knowledge star and the thief star. Ha, the heavens are helping me. Is there no Lin Chong this time? Yuandan, kill them. Yu Yuandan's master was named Guchong, 12, very adept at feng shui, like Wu Xinjie, an expert at exploring tombs. The thief star was grim. She did not expect to encounter such a thorny opponent. Other star generals were fine, yet this was the one named God of the Dangerous Road. You go stall her master, I will handle Yu Yuandan. Wu Xinjie used sound transmission. N. The thief star very quickly hid. She waved the 5 poisons banner, calling forth the puppet mechanisms. Master, will you use the 8 gates black gold chain? Hua Shui said. Wu Xinjie declined this request. The 8 gates black gold chain was indeed very powerful, but because it was too powerful she could not overuse it. The mysteries within this connecting heaven tomb were numerous. Wu Xinjie was still counting on the 8 gates black gold chain to break through danger. This is perfect for testing the marksmanship young lord left to your servant. Hua Shui, you look for an opportunity. Wu Xinjie smiled. As you wish. Knowledge star, are you thinking of your last words? Uttering those words, Yu Yuandan sneered, a long and narrow beam of cold light flitting by like a bolt of brilliant lightning. The girl already used an attack as her reply. Wu Xinjie softly chuckled, throwing out a talisman, shooting like lightning towards her opponent. It transformed into a long sword, its attack changing paths, completely different from the way they met Yu Yanduan's weapon before. As if relying on the power of star energy, it immediately burst, its might very great. Even Yu Yuandan did not dare underestimate it, directly using her mountain-cutting double-edged axe to go block it, but that sword talisman instantly changed again. In that instant, it counterattacked like a snake coiling its head, completely not leaving any time to breathe. Little sister, do you truly wish to fight? Wu Xinjie slightly smiled. Silver blade appeared in her hand. The bullets would soundlessly shoot out from the sharp blade, 13, as if it were a terrifying assassin. Bang, bang, bang. The sounds of gunfire and metal clashing continuously rang. Wu Xinjie's first attack was a strange assault that ran completely against star generals. That attack was not only incomparably fast, but it was also perfect in terms of defense. Bullets and sword talismans were continuously thrown out, forming a frightening, inconceivable combination. So powerful, worthy of the resourceful knowledge star to be able to think of this. As it turned out, the god of the dangerous road liked to take the dangerous path. Incapable of obstructing Yu Yuandan's pace, the healthy star was like a peregrine falcon shuttling back and forth like lightning. Even if she was occasionally forced into a dead end of the attack net, her quick and accurate judgment in dodging was sufficient to get her out of harm's way. In an instant, that black figure was right before Wu Xinjie. Worthy of a powerful martial general of the earthly stars. The axe head wrapped in an ice-cold aura suddenly slashed down, bringing a blue light to her target's eyes. Wu Xinjie slightly smiled, her steps light as the wind, leaning to dodge this attack. That expansive arc of wind nevertheless suddenly changed direction upon touching the ground, changing from a direct path into a sweep. This time, the attack's speed and power had both sharply increased, and Wu Xinjie had long made preparations for this. The gun and sword talismans that had combined together succeeded in sealing the path of Yu Yuandan's yellow rank. Cold light made Yu Yuandan unable to help but retreat. This defense that was absolutely not star energy in of itself was capable of resisting. Wu Xinjie counterattacked in this split second. Even though she had made mental preparations and used the weapon as a buffer, the knowledge star's tyrannical attack seemingly could not be looked down upon. Under a powerful impulse, Yu Yuandan's body was suddenly flicked several meters away, but the moment she touched the ground, the young girl already recovered her balance. A soft grunt. Bullets were fired. Practically in the moment Yu Yuandan caught sight of them, the revolving bullets seemed to penetrate her body. The mountain-cutting double-edged axe whirled to raise a gale that blew the bullets away. Oh! Upon seeing that she was unable to injure her, Wu Xinjie actually was not surprised at all, still wished to fight? Is elder sister afraid? Yu Yuandan grit her teeth, suddenly rotating her wrist, using the action to interrupt her opponent's words. Yu Yuandan sneered, coldly shouting. The mountain-cutting double-edged axe danced, sprinkling a green wind towards Wu Xinjie. As if it was an unstoppable hurricane, it tightly enveloped her within blade light. Yellow rank technique. Wind shatter. 14. Hua Shui entered possession at just the right time, immediately boosting the entirety of Wu Xinjie's spiritual power to a new realm. Regardless of how crafty Yu Yuandan's attack angle was, however frequently she varied her speed, her attack seemed incapable of harming Wu Xinjie in the slightest. Those omnipresent sword talismans and that practically strange in sound and style firearms whirled in a dance under Wu Xinjie's control, like an impenetrable rampart, shaking apart each and every one of Yu Yuandan's attacks. Yu Yuandan's yellow rank technique for the first time was unexpectedly unable to taste any results. After several exchanges, the offensive that the countless sword talismans and bullets formed finally had a hole torn in it. Yu Yuandan saw her opportunity. The mountain-cutting double-edged axe slashed ferociously. A glowing arc of light swept towards Wu Xinjie, completely without room for evasion. Wu Xinjie smiled, as if she had foreseen this. However, the powerful sword aura did not slow in the slightest because of this, only slightly moving towards the side. Yu Yuandan fiercely shouted, her power suddenly increasing. Watch this dark rank. 5 mountain sea filling. Wu Xinjie felt her wrist suddenly turn heavy, 16, but the knowledge star was abnormally relaxed. The 9-tailed spirit fox Hua Shui transformed into a specter. Unexpectedly, she unbelievably broke free of the dark rank's pressure. Impossible. So strong. Yu Yuandan drew in a cold breath. Yuandan. That Guchong loudly shouted. Shi Yuan's puppets currently were appearing one after another at a steady rate. Although Shi Yuan did not have any combat strength, relying on multiple puppet mechanical beasts, even if Guchong was any more talented he was helpless in the face of this crisis. Killing the controller of these puppet mechanical beasts was a good idea, but the Shi Yuan in wind-chasing shadow hiding had completely vanished. Guchong completely could not sense her. God damn it. These were obviously 2 trash star generals, dead at even the slightest touch. Unexpectedly, these 2 were capable of obstructing them. Guchong threw out several treasures and supreme-grade talismans to destroy a majority of the mechanical beasts. This young lady has refined 9,990 mechanical beasts. Play slowly. Shi Yuan's chuckles came from an unknown place. Damned thief star, if you have the ability, then come out. Guchong furiously cursed, do you truly want this young lady to come out? Shi Yuan suddenly laughed. And she actually appeared. Spotting her, Guchong did not hesitate at all to raise his flying sword and several supreme-grade talismans to destroy the surrounding mechanical beasts. Then, he used another talisman to trap Shi Yuan's presence. Following an escape technique, he instantly was in front of the thief star. The entire course of events flowed smoothly, direct and efficient. Shi Yuan stared without moving. Fool, die. When Guchong saw that Shi Yuan was unable to flee, he laughed and slashed. Shi Yuan's body was torn apart. Suddenly, Guchong's smile froze. A fake? Not good, mirror image talisman. Guchong immediately whirled around to attack behind him, but Shi Yuan had already disappeared and retreated, waving at him, that appearance seemingly saying, fare thee well. What? Before Guchong could react. Suddenly, 5 rays of poison light soared into the sky. 5 poisons array. Guchong's face paled, and then he understood that he was caught in a trap. The thief star had set down the 5 poisons array at some point and deliberately lured him over. Guchong hastily wanted to defend, but the 5 poisons array was but a great array. At practically the moment before he returned to his senses, the 5 poison lights pierced his body. The extreme toxins immediately froze his consciousness. An unprecedented despair and regret filled his heart, and there was also an unbelievable feeling of being trapped. When were the Thief Star and Knowledge Star capable of these powers? Young master. Yu Yuandan spat blood in pain. And this was the fatal weak point of all contracted star generals. Apologies, little sister. Wu Xinjie's gunfire rang. A bullet pierced Yu Yuandan's heart. To surprisingly die here, healthy star god of the dangerous road Yu Yuandan's face of indignation then received the fate of a starfall. A crimson star fell in the direction of Maiden Mountain, and Wu Xinjie expressed her regret. Due to the distance between her contracted star master and herself being too far apart, the crimson star of the healthy star god of the dangerous road Yu Baoxi that Wu Xinjie slain directly fell into Maiden Mountain. This was another reason why a star master and star general were required to stick to one another after signing a contract. Besides protecting the lives of their star masters, obtaining the strength of a crimson star in the star duels was another reason. Who let her provoke us? Shi Yuan fiddled with her puppet banners, noticing that the puppet mechanical beasts were not completely without usefulness. It seemed that in the future she could design several hundred high-ranking mechanical beasts. Enough ants could bite an elephant to death, however, if it was in the future, going to the White Tiger territory would be fine. Rumor had it that high-ranking demon beasts ran amok in the White Tiger territory. At that time, using several higher than 10th rank true spirits as puppet beasts would be awe-inspiring. Wu Xinjie did not reply. She extended a hand, bringing Guchong's astral bag over. Her divine intent probed within, discovering many talismans, artifacts and devices for investigating tombs and such. It seemed that this Guchong was generally specialized in doing this sort of thing. Besides this, there were several dozen maps for ruins. This just so happens to be able to assist us. Wu Xinjie smiled, Your Honor, burying his corpse will count as just a bit of respect for little sister. Then, we will leave. Understood. Lin Yingmei and Wu Xiao very quickly arrived at a mountain range in the Azure Dragon territory known as the Jade Dragon. The Jade Dragon was a continuous extension across several thousand li looking down, the snow on the mountaintop seemingly bordered the heavens, appearing very magnificent, with a bone-chilling cold attacking in waves. Although the Jade Dragon Mountain Range was not of the Azure Dragon Territory's 5 great mountain ranges, the ice-cold, nasty climate was barely second to the Snow Lotus Heavenly Mountain of the 5 great mountain ranges. The topography of the mountains was complex, the temperature extremely low. Due to the lack of spiritual influence in these mountains, there were few people roaming about. However, in Lin Yingmei's memory, she nevertheless knew that the materials for her 4-star destined weapon Arctic Star Serpent Spear could be found in abundance here. Seo, we shall separate here for now as well. We shall each separately go searching. Wu Seo said. Seo, your servant does not mean this. Lin Yingmei shook her head. Wu Seo was taken aback. Young master requires Seo's aid, so your servant asks that Seo properly protect young master. Lin Yingmei looked at Wu Seo with a very serious tone. Your servant's star weapon can be resolved by your servant herself. Seo, you have, for the sake of young master, delayed your own star weapon. Your servant cannot continue wasting your time. Yingmei, what are these words? How can we sisters leave one another? Why are you so distant? Wu Seo was confused. Lin Yingmei smiled. It is as Wu Xinjie said. If we part ways now, then we can create even more opportunities. Seo also said this is the dignity of a star general. Seo ought to have faith in your servant. Yingmei, you are so cunning. Wu Seo was rendered unable to retort by her own words. If your servant is unable to depend on herself alone, then how can your servant protect young master? Seeing Wu Seo was still worried, Lin Yingmei once again smiled. Then, Yingmei, you be careful. At that time, you cannot fall further behind than your concubine. Wu Seo nodded. The 2 heavenly star martial generals tacitly and naturally did not need to waste their breath on more words. Your concubine's 4-star is but already nearly complete. Lin Yingmei gladly nodded. Wu Seo stared for a moment. Urging on the white and black unicorn tiger, just as she was about to depart, Lin Yingmei abruptly said, Seo, can your servant ask you a question? Does Yingmei wish to ask your concubine at what time she will sign a star dual covenant with Lord Husband? Wu Seo turned her head back and gently smiled. Precisely. Although they were already addressed as husband and wife, they had not yet signed a contract. Lin Yingmei's heart was somewhat unable to be at peace. Your concubine has her own plans. Yingmei need not attempt to persuade your concubine. Seo smiled. Lin Yingmei sighed. Lad snake scorpion, huh? Crying star twin-tailed scorpion Xia Chan sat one a gigantic crimson and black-colored scorpion. That venomous scorpion tail split apart into a left and right. There were 2 stingers flickering with a dim light. Lady Snake Scorpion was at the side assuming a defensive stance. Aren't Star Masters not allowed to bring more than 1 Star General into Evil Smiting Hall? Su Xing's head hurt. We sisters are of one mind, inseparable as form and shadow. Could it be an idiot like you does not know? Xia Chan was unyielding. Although he had anticipated the required simultaneous contract of the Savage and Crying Stars would mean a not at all odd simultaneous appearance of both in Evil Smiting Hall, a battle formation of both honestly put Su Xing in a thorny situation, particularly when he saw that the 2 little Lolas had 4 stars on their poison needles and hidden tools. Mama, be careful, he just killed little Diao's little green. Xia Diao was even more steady than Xia Chan, promptly warning Lady Snake Scorpion to guard against Su Xing. Lady Snake Scorpion flipped her hand. In her hand appeared the purple star Astral Treasure Star's Falling Dragon Sword. White Rat, do you think that you are safe hiding behind your papa's back? Hee, watch this scorpion tail needle. Xia Chan taunted. Her hand beckoned, and the 4-star gold scorpion fine rain needles whooshed as they shot out, turning into a golden downpour of stingers. The star beast's venomous crimson double tails each shot a rain of needles. More than 1,000 of the thin needles shot over in high concentration without any gaps. Gong Sun Huang's star magic activated. Su Xing turned around and hugged Bai Yutang close against his chest. Little Huang, we are leaving. Saying this, his 2 hands gestured. 24 flying swords twisted into the rain of needles. Then he soared in escape light with Gongsun Huang without the slightest hesitation. How could Lady Snake Scorpion have anticipated that Su Xing would flee the moment he said he would? Just as she was about to go pursue, Gongsun Huang activated a wind rolls the clouds to obstruct the. By the time they looked again, Su Xing had already fled far away. Mama, that man cannot escape from evil smiting Hall hugging a white rat. Let us go chase. Xia-chan was expressionless. Lady Snake Scorpion nodded, coldly laughing. Last time, you two defeated Gongsun Huang. It was a pity we let her escape. This time, this leisure star has found a star master. We definitely cannot let her go. Elder sister, your star beast green-scaled unicorn python is truly useless. Xia-chan laughed up her sleeve. This queen did not expect that star master to be this powerful. Fine, then. We can take this chance to swap your star beast. Lady Snake Scorpion smiled. Xie Jiao nodded. However, to escape from my black wind wings, too, is truly laughable. Lady Snake Scorpion sneered and formed the orchid hand seal. Suddenly, a pair of black wings unfurled from her back. The wings flapped, and she was suddenly several times faster than an escape technique. So fast. Su Xing turned his head, astonished to see Lady Snake Scorpion had already closed this distance in several blinks of the eye. Lady Snake Scorpion's black wings flapped with a poison wind. Even though they were separate by several dozen li, the aura the high speed brought was still stifling. As the Leisure Star's Star Master, is escaping not humiliating? Lady Snake Scorpion's sneer came from behind him. Su Xing did not have any interest fighting with her. Lady Snake Scorpion's twin stars possessed their Heaven-Earth Dark Yellow skill. Although he did not know how it was, if they used it, even Gongsun Huang could be defeated in battle. Furthermore, Evil Smiting Hall had many restrictions within. A majority of Su Xing's magic weapons had lost their usefulness, let alone that Lady Snake Scorpion even possessed a purple star astral treasure. No matter how much more Su Xing showed off, he understood that he was completely at a disadvantage in a star duel within Evil Smiting Hall. Bai Yutang's big eyes blinked, not understanding why Su Xing would save her. Nether Serpent. 3. Two of Xia Chan's fingers came together as she used a yellow rank technique. The green tree viper gloom blade combined into a green serpent shape that suddenly made an incursion into the gap left at Su Xing's back. The Langia spread open around Su Xing's body. Clear light radiated brightly, and the poison items could not draw near him at all. Xia Chan furiously snorted. She wanted to use the Heaven-Earth Dark Yellow skill with her elder sister to vanquish Su Xing in one move. How could they have anticipated that this man would be really cunning, completely not giving them a chance to catch their breath? Let us see how long you can run. In the wind came an angry voice. Little Huang, take note of where your star beast is. Su Xing suddenly ordered. N. The twin star generals provoked them endlessly from behind, yet Gongsun Huang was expressionless, as if she completely did not hear them. As the star general number 1 in magic energy, Gongsun Huang did not have so-called vanity. Rather than say she was excessively calm, it was better to say that she had seen through the mundane world. Su Xing suddenly furrowed his brow, having been struck by a hidden weapon. Poison immediately flared up along his blood vessels. Fortunately, Su Xing's body had a detoxification pearl that completely suppressed the propagation of the poison, but he was still somewhat not accustomed to that piercing pain. Papa, drink wine. All of a sudden, the Bai Yutang on his chest extended her hand, having taken out a sparkling jade bottle with the wafting fragrance of wine, her voice soft as cotton candy. Hearing this address, Su Xing nearly vomited blood. Was he so old? Bai Yutang's pupils brimmed with a genuine concern. The bottle of wine her little hand held was her destined star weapon, Dreamless. This is the worry-free without a care that candy originally brewed. It can help Papa stifle the pain. When Su Xing heard that Papa address, his whole head leaked sweat. However, right now, he did not have the time to correct this. He opened his mouth and took a swig of essence water from inside Dreamless. The wine entered his throat, and instantly, it was like the heavens had sent down sweet dew. The pain promptly subsided. You close your eyes and take a nap like a good kid. By the time you wake up, everything will be over. Su Xing tenderly smiled at Bai Yutang. Bai Yutang's heart was very warm. She had a sort of feeling of being cared for by a father. She nodded, unconsciously actually closing her eyes. Rat Star Bai Yutang fell into a dream that was sweeter than candy. In the dream, she saw a giant phoenix bird perched atop a tree. Its crest was like a flame, as if it was imitating wearing a multicolored crown. The plumage of its whole body was graceful and refined. Its wingspan was able to cover the sky, its phoenix cry capable of splitting the earth. Rains of clouds followed that giant phoenix as it flew up. Inside the dream, she saw Su Xing and Gong Sun Huang face this huge bird, and there was also the stupefied Xia Zhen and Xia Bao and lady, all of them entangled in a melee. Amidst 10,000 rays of multicolored light, nothing could be seen clearly. She could only sense from time to time, the mountains shook and the earth quaked as if there was a cataclysm. From time to time, Buddhist light extended 10,000 zhang, and from time to time, she saw the serpent and the scorpion kiss each other. There were shouting voices, ice-cold laughs, cries of terror, screams of anger, and other very unpleasant sounds that blended with magic into complete confusion, utter chaos. To speak of this dream, it was indeed a dream. This was the first time in Bai Yutang's life that she had seen such a shaking and terrifying battle. She had merely originally wanted to come to Evil Smiting Hall to carefully capture a white rat, nothing more. It was this that made her see a seeming terrible battle. Bai Yutang nevertheless did not feel any pressure. There was a sort of strength painstakingly protecting her from harm. Candy, Candy, a gently voice slowly called her. Bai Yutang groaned, slowly opening her eyes. After the light passed, she saw a slightly smiling face. Papa, Bai Yutang rubbed eyes drowsily. So Mo. Su Xing really wanted to hug her. I'm really not a weird uncle. Cough, just call me big brother. Su Xing said. Bai Yutang's fawn-like eyes innocently stared at Su Xing. Right now, let's go help you find a star beast. We don't have a lot of time. We have to leave. Su Xing smiled. Bai Yutang cocked her head. At this time, she spotted the Gong Sun Huang standing behind Su Xing. The white rat lowly suddenly very adorably opened her mouth. Perched beside Gong Sun Huang was the giant phoenix she had seen in her dream. However, compared to that kingly and dictatorial air from her dream, what was before her was only an gorgeous, extremely beautiful phoenix of multicolored light that appeared more meek than a lamb as it followed behind Gong Sun Huang. This was Gong Sun Huang's star beast, the new heavenly phoenix. Bai Yutang's little hand grasped Su Xing's lapel, cautiously saying, Tangua only wants an essence spirit rat. 2. Let's go look for it right now. Su Xing nodded. Right, Tang Tang, do you want to sign a contract with me? Su Xing smiled and asked. All right. Bai Yutang very obediently nodded her head. Su Xing's heart was like it had tasted the sweetness of honey. This little loli was honestly too adorable. He could not hold back from once again pecking the little loli's cheek. Where do you live? I'll come find you next time, wait for big brother. Tangua lives at, Bai Yutang cocked her head, dazed, Spring Breeze Drunken Rain Pavilion. 3. That is what the elder sisters told Tangua. You even have elder sisters. Su Xing was taken aback. There is also Mama. They take very good care of Tangua. Bai Yutang's eyes closed into crescents. It seemed that Bai Yutang's livelihood was pretty good, so Su Xing was a bit relieved. However, the little loli obviously did not remember where her home was. It was no wonder. To be so muddle-headed, she definitely had been very well protected. Are they star generals, too? Su Xing muttered, and, the next I come find you, don't forget about me. Su Xing teased her. Bai Yutang shook her head, adorably saying she would not. Black Turtle Territory, East Mountain Island, Spring Breeze Drunken Rain Pavilion, on this day of rest. How has she not yet returned yet? A roar resounded inside this restaurant. The tables, wine mugs, and tea plates were rattled into clattering about. A young woman with long, trailing pink hair and wearing a pink skirt resentfully stamped one leg onto a table, nearly flipping it over. In one hand, she supported a tray. In front of her was an intoxicated woman. Her blue hair was level with her ears, and she was dressed somewhat carelessly. Her bandage tube top exposed a large expanse of snow-white skin and shoulders. She was currently using the top-notch astral tool, Twinkling Star Stone, a whetstone, to grind a silver saw-toothed weapon that was in her hands. Xinyue, 5, are you not the slightest bit worried about the girl? The pink woman's face was very red. Tonger, 6, there is no use in being worried right now. Xinyue closed one eye and helplessly said. Seeing the tray in Tonger's hand held a large slab of savory beef that was to be paired with wine, she licked her lips. Tonger, this is the roast beef that you cooked. Let me taste it first. You, Tonger flung the roast beef aside, no food for you today. Ha! Xinyue was shocked. Mistress, 7, your darts are not at the correct heat. A woman wearing a green short garment and wide sleeves showing snowy skin pointed as she danced light as a butterfly. The tray that flew over was propped on her finger, and the woman giggled. Roast beef, this great saint likes. She sniffed, immediately swallowing a piece without ceremony. You truly are not concerned with Tang Tang in the slightest, this old woman does not agree with any of you. Tonger was very angry. The green-clothed girl gave Xinyue a, you had better go quickly comfort her, expression. Tonger, Evil Smiting Hall is already about to draw to a close. At this time, there will not be too many star generals, so there is no use in worrying any further. Tang Tang is very clever. Did we not also give her a 9 Heavens Divine Escape Talisman? 8, even if she were to encounter danger, she could escape. Xinyue helplessly said. Tonger grunted, this old woman still worries, manner. Let alone, has little Ku, 9, not gone out to search for her? They will return soon enough. But it has been so many days. Everyone, stop quarreling. Quickly come and taste my freshly brewed, white bones wine. 10. From the kitchen came a seemingly smiling woman with a cloud bun and wearing a revealing white qipao that also exposed the sides of her breasts daintily walked out. In one hand, she held a vegetable knife, and in the other, she propped up a tray of wine. The smell of the white bones, 11, was penetrating. Though she called for them, the rest retreated. Balian, 12, you did this again, do you want to kill someone? Come and have a taste. 3 dozen cups of white bones wine, I brewed it with great difficulty. You must listen to elder sister's words. Little sisters are definitely not busy, and elder sister used lots of effort to brew. Balian smiled insincerely, an expression of, you must properly enjoy this. The girls shivered. No. Balian, this old woman wants to expel you. Be obedient. Ah, my Tang Tang, quickly come back. A ruckus arose inside the store, screams everywhere. Outside the restaurant, an indifferent and languid woman sat atop a stone lion, drinking wine. Hearing the chaos inside, she said with a bored tone, Aya, truly so noisy. Inside Evil Smiting Hall, the essence spirit rat was currently scurrying about at high speed. Su Xing originally thought this rat would be rather easy to catch, but he did not expect it would actually be very clever. Little Huang, let's split up and catch it. Su Xing directed. Gongsun Huang self-satisfactorily turned into a ray of escape light. Papa, don't hurt bye-bye. 13, it likes to drink wine. The Bai Yutang on his chest clenched her little hand nervously. Su Xing smiled. She had even thought up of a name already. Bye-bye. What an honestly cute name. Su Xing nodded, however, although they could lure it with wine, that would require time. After Gongsun Huang captured the new heavenly phoenix, one day absolutely was not enough. For this reason, Su Xing wanted to quickly capture this rat. To leave Bai Yutang behind alone in evil smiting hall, his heart was not steady at all. He bit open the tip of his tongue, spitting out essence blood that transformed into the sparkling golden immortal linked life ring. Gongsun Huang's star magic activated, perfectly blocking the essence spirit rat's path. The white shadow flickered. Su Xing's hand moved, making the golden immortal linked life ring trap it. The essence blood faded. The Su Xing that had already sustained internal injuries was hurt even more. However, so long as he could grab this essence spirit rat, that was negligible. When Su Xing put all of his mind on the essence spirit rat, all of a sudden, a bone-chilling murderous aura sneak attacked. That killing intent was very concentrated and heavy, like a mountain. Su Xing's heart was astonished. Hastily, he flung up his arms, tossing Bai Yutang to a safe range. Immediately, he did not hesitate at all to call forth his flying swords. The killing intent slammed onto the swords, not slowing in the slightest. What appeared in front of Su Xing was a fang-like axe. The killing intent the axe head slashed with surged like a tide. Each attack made Su Xing feel a sort of heavy pressure. Su Xing used all of his strength to capture the new heavenly phoenix. He had long spent all of his star energy. Receiving this strike, there was no way but to use his body to offload the intense killing intent of the axe head. Retreating, he continuously slid backwards. Bang! The baleful aura's continuous attacks already nearly enveloped and devoured Su Xing. Su Xing grit his teeth. His legs suddenly exerted force. The meditative mind lotus flower blossomed, and he used the last bit of remaining Buddhist magic energy. The fierce power that was like a tsunami instantly counterattacked, launching a fatal strike. Su Xing rushed through the opponent's encirclement, but a figure already arrived instantly. Yellow rank technique, scarred all over body. 14. There was a shout, and a woman wearing blue clothes yelled. Her long axe swung directly down. The killing intent surging on the bright axe head shot out, becoming countless tusks about to swallow Su Xing. Fuck, yellow rank technique. The killing intent that could seemingly twist the world to death immediately blocked all of Su Xing's lines of sight. At this moment, even if he wanted to quickly escape, he was too late. The yellow rank scarred all over body made the range of the killing intent suddenly turn wide. After it pounced towards its target, it would seemingly seal the entire space. Even if Su Xing wanted to flee, he had no place to hide. The entire baleful aura more fierce than a tide spread open. Boom! It viewed from the sky, this indeed was a spectacular scene. In the range between Su Xing and the opponent, killing intent spread boundlessly. Like the fangs of a wild animal, killing intent was emitted in layers, opening a breathtaking ferocity. Just relying on this, Su Xing knew that the young girl in front of him was a star general of considerable martial force. However, she should be only an earthly star. But Su Xing's strength was currently able to be contend against an earthly star somewhat. After all, it was no joke that he had sparred with top-notch martial generals like Wu Xiao and Lin Yingmei, especially when Su Xing had inherited heavenly solitary star Lu Shaqing's innate skill monster strength. The meditative mind lotus flower bloomed and enveloped Su Xing. His eyes burned with an ice-cold flame. This was the expression of a most tranquil state that possessed calm, ice-cold yet brimming with might. Facing this killing intent with no place to hide from, Su Xing now already would not be frightened. Everything felt to be forgotten in the back of his head. The sole fear he could feel was only a full-power battle. Flying swords combined with the meditative mind lotus flower. Boundless magic energy broke open the flames, shooting directly at the opponent. Huh! The girl clearly did not anticipate this. She hastily clenched tight her halberd, assuming a defensive stance. The girl's reaction were fast. In a spurt of energy, she suddenly rushed forward, roaring as she brandished her halberd, carving an arc of blue detachment in the air. Su Xing instantly used his flying swords to form a shield. He used the wide sword shield to block this attack. Although the flying swords were shaken by the opponent's thrust enough that his divine intent was diminished, the person himself nevertheless did not care. Su Xing seized this opportunity, his two hands grabbing at her, quick as lightning. The tyrannical and surly monster's strength pounced over. As if more terrifying than the Star General's yellow rank just now, the young girl's halberd became a bolt of blue light that blocked Su Xing's double punch, but Su Xing's monster strength had only just begun. The girl only felt her destined star weapon violently shake upon receiving the powerful force. The weapon whined, a frightening power rapidly meshing against the weapon's axe head. The girl's reactions were extremely swift. Taking a step back, she suddenly somersaulted backwards as she swept her halberd. Su Xing already was an arrow at the end of its path. He wanted to raise a hand to seize the opponent's star weapon to make it lose its menace. How could he have anticipated that this Star General's martial arts were quite consummate, unexpectedly cleverly using the backwards flip to dissipate Su Xing's monster strength? A beautiful leg kicked Su Xing's chin. Su Xing's arms blocked this, jolting him numb. He lost awareness for a moment, but he showed a gap. Su Xing had no choice but to retreat backwards, and the young girl pursed her lips tightly. Continuously sneering, the halberd fluttering in her hands suddenly slashed. With everything at stake, Su Xing wonderfully spun to avoid this attack. Several returning flying swords entangled her. The young girl's hands brandished the axe, wishing to dispatch Su Xing in a single blow, but the martial arts that Su Xing displayed made her quite astonished. This man's martial arts unexpectedly were somewhat above her. Su Xing rushed straight, his speed instantly accelerating as he turned into an afterimage. The trajectories of the flying swords rapidly gathered and slashed. Su Xing suddenly exerted strength, offloading the defense of the young girl's halberd. The flying swords became a swordlight that practically was a perfect point flitting across the young girl's neck, drawing open a minute wound. The speed of this slash was quick to the point that the wound had forgotten to bleed. The girl felt the blood on her neck. Her eyes grew wide, and she felt shock. Die! Su Xing could sense the ferocity of his opponent's technique. The pair's exchange was seemingly slow, but it nevertheless passed in an instant. Elder sister little Ku, don't hurt Papa. Bai Yutang ran over in a panic. Bam, she was tripped onto the ground by a stone. The young woman was startled, retreating, forcing her attack to a stop. Immediately, she flashed to reach Bai Yutang's side, but she suddenly discovered a multicolored light covered her, making her unable to move her arms or legs in the slightest, as if she had been shackled. A phoenix's cry resounded. A graceful and elegant phoenix flew overhead. Standing atop the phoenix was Gongsun Huang, expressionless. The Pine Brand ancient sword was pointed at the girl, about to activate a star magic for an attack. D New Heavenly Phoenix. The girl was very pale from shock. Little Huang, don't kill her. Su Xing drew in a breath, retracting his flying swords and stopping Gongsun Huang's attack. Gongsun Huang was perplexed. Nevertheless, she immediately retracted her killing intent, but the D New Phoenix bird still eyed the young woman. Tang Tang, do you know her? When Su Xing heard Bai Yutang call her elder sister Little Ku, he already understood why this girl would show him so much animosity. As it turned out, she took him to be the bad guy imprisoning Bai Yutang. Su Xing then flipped out the birth treasure outline. The girl's martial force was fierce. That dark rank at the end nearly broke his immemorial flying swords. Star position, Horn Star. 2, Star name, Zhou Run. 3, Nickname, Single Horn Dragon. True name, Zhou Ku. 5, Rank, 91st Star Weapon, Fang of Broken Skies. 6, 3 Star, Star Beast. Realm, 10,000 Techniques. First Stage Innate Skill, Axe technique 5 elements. Wood yellow rank technique. Scarred all over body dark rank technique. Roaring Fang of heavenly dragon current status. No contractor. Cannot be conquered. Detailed materials. Cannot sign a star dual covenant inside evil. Smiting Hall, the ranked 91st Horn Star Single Horn Dragon Zhou Run. Su Xing exclaimed. Furthermore, she was 10,000 techniques first stage. Fortunately, her star weapon was only 3 star. He had actually gotten lucky, otherwise in that moment, the flying swords would have again suffered the consequences. Seeing that Su Xing surprisingly possessed the birth treasure outline, Zhou Ke's eyes were even more wary. She's elder sister little Ku, Papa, she takes very good care of Tanghua. Bai Yutang grasped at Su Xing's hems, very pitiful. Tang, what did you call him? Do not be deceived by this star master. Zhou Ke sternly said. To still be able to think of Bai Yutang at her own moment of crisis, this single-horned dragon Zhou Ke was actually somewhat warm-hearted. Su Xing glanced at Gongsun Huang. The new heavenly phoenix flapped its wings, recalling the tens of thousands of layers of multicolored light. Zhou Ke rushed at Su Xing the moment she saw this. Before she could approach, star magic sent her recoiling back. Do not approach His Highness. The meaning of Gongsun Huang's expression was very clear. Leisure star dragon in the clouds? Zhou Ke was even more dumbstruck. Since you're Tangtang's elder sister, then it's just a misunderstanding. Su Xing said. Gongsun Huang at this time waved her hand. A quick-witted little white rat fell into Bai Yutang's palm. The little loli showed an expression of cute and pleasant surprise, carefully using the evil smiting writ to capture the essence spirit rat. The golden immortal linked life ring was withdrawn, and the essence spirit rat excitedly leapt onto the little loli's shoulder and licked her face, making Bai Yutang happily giggle. Tang, we should go back. Mistress is very worried about you. Zhou Ke tightly gripped her halberd. Oh. Bai Yutang was somewhat reluctant to part with Su Xing. Papa, Tanghua is going home for now. And, next time, I'll come pick you up. Su Xing nodded, tenderly speaking. The little loli bashfully pecked Su Xing's cheek, and then she ran to Zhou Ke's side. The single-horned dragon hatefully glanced at Su Xing. She whispered something to Tang, as if she was saying, how can you randomly call a star master you just met Papa? Mistress will be angry, or, do not believe in star masters, or the like. In the end, Zhou Ke menacingly glared at Su Xing, that expression seemingly saying, if you dare once again lure Tang, then I will show you. Your Highness. Gongsun Huang nimbly jumped, landing on Su Xing's shoulder. Let's go back, too. Su Xing drew in a breath. To have this encounter during their final trip to Evil Smiting Hall was somewhat outside of expectation, but encountering Lady Snake Scorpion and capturing the new Heavenly Phoenix, even being treated as a father by a super little loli was simply a bit too surreal. Afterwards, Su Xing and Gongsun Huang disappeared from Evil Smiting Hall. To Su Xing, the Evil Smiting Hall phase had already thoroughly concluded. Lady Snake Scorpion very unhappily returned to the Jade Alum Palace, her heart truly resentful to the extreme. Damn, this queen was played with by that man. She closed her eyes, and in her mind appeared the figures of the Leisure Star and Su Xing. The Savage Star and Crying Star's Heaven Earth Dark Yellow skill mistakenly struck the new Phoenix Bird, which led to the final juncture. Not only did they not seize the chance to kill the Leisure Star, her own star generals were both killed into the star nest. If it was not for using the Purple Star Astral Treasure Star Falling Dragon Sword at the very end, Lady Snake Scorpion feared she would not have been able to flee back here. This number 1 in magic energy star general was not just for show, as expected. What she hated was that because she used that star-falling dragon sword, her foes had a very good probability to capture the new Heavenly Phoenix. If that man was not trash, capturing it would not be a problem. Everything seemed to have been planned for. Damn it. Lady Snake Scorpion's whole body was very painful. She tore the bed sheets to shreds. Queen, the great king has come. A maid cautiously said. My wife, how is the matter of the evil smiting hall? A golden-armored man walked into the chambers, beaming. Great king. Lady Snake Scorpion threw herself over, showing a feeble attitude. Wife, what has happened? To be so hurt. Great Saint Falling Sky Rock Demon King was startled. Lady Snake Scorpion stammered out her encounter in Evil Smiting Hall, even embellishing the details a bit. The Rock Demon King was extremely furious. What a brazen child, to unexpectedly dare hurt my wife. This king shall issue orders to have them found. Great king, do not quell your anger. This star duel can only be blamed on your servant's incompetence. Lady Snake Scorpion sighed. Hearing these words, the Rock Demon King was also unsightly. How can this king's wife be incompetent? However, the leisure star possessing the D-New Phoenix bird is indeed troublesome. The Rock Demon King knew its might, muttering to himself for a moment. He made a determination and said, never expected the star duels to be so ever-changing. No matter, this king can only hand over that thing to wife, to assist wife in obtaining the star duels. Joy carelessly flashed past Lady Snake Scorpion's eyes, many thanks to great king. Two days passed, and just as he was preparing to travel to the Black Turtle territory, all of a sudden, Tang Lianxin came to see him. Elder brother, the headmaster has sent a summons. He wants us to go on a trip to the main hall. Su Xing nodded. Subsequently, he and Tang Lianxin made for the Four Styles School's main hall. Along the way, Su Xing asked her for what matter the headmaster was seeking him. As the Four Styles School's most pampered great disciple and star master, Su Xing already possessed the sect's prerogative. Normally, no one would meddle with what he did inside the school. If Su Xing was missing something, he need only mention it. Tang Lianxin shook her head, also unaware. Main hall. Paying respects to headmaster, masters, and all senior teachers. Su Xing cupped his fist. Suddenly, he was astonished. Sitting on the seat beside the headmaster was an absolutely beautiful young lady dressed in purple. Her brows were like smoke, and she watched Su Xing's arrival with a seeming smile. Ling Yan Princess Xiao Hanyan. Su Xing had never anticipated that he would encounter her here. Your Highness Princess, this is Su Xing. The headmaster said, making Su Xing sit on his other side. Many thanks to headmaster. Can Hanyan take him now? Zhao Hanyan's gentle appearance made Su Xing feel that he had seen the wrong person. Of course you can. Su Xing, the Ling Yan princess' birthday was several days ago. This time, she has something to ask of you. You must properly receive her. Zhu Yueka kindly said. Birthday? Su Xing's heart pounded, and he suddenly recalled the promise he made to Zhao Hanyan inside Evil Smiting Hall. Because the matter of Buddha Kingdom was too complicated, he had completely forgotten this matter. However, he was still somewhat perplexed as to how Zhao Hanyan found him here. Zhao Hanyan's expression seemingly smiled yet did not. Disciple has some matters that he fears, Su Xing felt that he had best first lay low for now. What matter could be more important than this princess' personal invitation? Zhao Hanyan's smile appeared simply angelic to an outsider's perspective. Each and every single one of those sect elders and hall masters were captivated. Nevertheless, Su Xing could discern the demonic displeasure within. Su Xing, do not decline. Zhu Yueka said, clearly also not wishing to offend the great Liang dynasty. Su Xing could only begrudgingly comply. Su Xing, come with this princess. Zhao Hanyan gracefully left the hall. Their flying swords skyrocketed, and very quickly, they left the range of the Four Styles School. Zhao Hanyan, how did you find me? Su Xing's riding sword flew alongside her as he asked. Humph. Zhao Hanyan flung her head away, not minding him as if she was a spoiled child. Did you forget the intertwined sword you have with princess? With this, How is finding you strange? Steadfast star Dong Junqing emerged, her tone disdainful as she stared at Su Xing. Su Xing understood. Junqing, do not mind this untrustworthy man. Zhao Hanyan coldly said. Su Xing perspired. As expected, she was angry. The steadfast star harumphed, ruthlessly glaring at Su Xing. Then, she entered the star nest again. Flying for a while, from beginning to end Zhao Hanyan did not speak at all, seething, somewhat like a daughter. When Su Xing saw the renowned Ling Yan princess daughter-like appearance, he actually felt this was quite cute, and he laughed. What are you laughing at? Zhao Hanyan glared. Your angry face is rather cute. Su Xing said truthfully. You unfaithful traitor, Zhao Hanyan's anger flourished. The 72 outer void flying immortal swords flew out. Just as she was about to attack Su Xing, the intertwined branch swords suddenly activated, and heart groaned in pain. Bastard! Zhao Hanyan cursed, very unladylike. Alright, sorry. It was because I had some matters to attend to that I really couldn't break free of. Su Xing was not fond of going back on his word, but what had happened in the Buddha kingdom honestly could not have been avoided. Earnestly and sincerely, he apologized. Your husband has but experienced 9 deaths and is still alive. Su Xing saying this made Zhao Hanyan's anger immediately quell, as expected. Seeing the concern in her eyes was not feigned, Su Xing's heart actually was somewhat warm. Are you thinking of swindling this princess? Zhao Hanyan's tone sunk. I can't help it if you don't believe me, Hanyan, you've known me for so long, when have you ever seen me smooth and steady? Zhao Hanyan looked pensive. The purple thunder monster had always been fond of provoking right and wrong. He had turned both the azure dragon territory and vermilion bird territory upside down anyways. Seeing Su Xing's wholehearted sincerity, Zhao Hanyan's tone also softened. This princess' first invitation, you unexpectedly made this princess look unsightly. 2. Su Xing, what do you say we do? We're already husband and wife, just don't fuss over the minor things. I have never fussed over that preference of yours. Su Xing shook his head. Zhao Hanyan's face turned red, and she spat. Bastard, conversing with this guy would always make her go mad. Obviously, he had previously missed his appointment, yet she now had wronged herself. Just where are we going now? Su Xing asked her. I've still got things to do. What, does being together with this princess so unbearable to you? The Ling Yan princess was in quite the bad mood. At her birthday banquet, each and every one of those princes, dukes and marquis fawned over her, wishing to speak a little longer with her. Others could not do so even if they requested. Though he was good, even when he was so close to one in a position of power, he unexpectedly gave that up. How could this princess have initiated the 1,000-year intertwines with such a man that did not love her? Truly, he makes this princess angered to death. Su Xing indeed was very pressed for time. Lin Yingmei and the other beauties were rushing about constantly on the outside. How could he have the leisure to engage in sentiments? His flying sword stopped, and he earnestly said, Han Yan, if you don't have anything, can I actually go? Zhao Hanyan originally wanted to curse him, but seeing that Su Xing's expression was not seemingly joking. She wrinkled her brows and said, you have made this princess appear unsightly. Could it be that helping this princess do some things is out of the question? What things? How long will it take? Su Xing asked. Zhao Hanyan's expression said, are you in a rush to go reincarnate? Princess Highness wishes for you to go see a certain Lingdong Countess Yilingxi. 3. Dong Junqing emerged again. Seeing Zhao Hanyan and Su Xing like this, she spoke. Lingdong Countess Yilingxi. She is the daughter of Prince Shenwu. Oh. What would you have me do? I haven't collaborated with her. Su Xing expressed innocence. Zhao Hanyan coldly grinned, whether you can collaborate with the lady, this princess has no opinion. Things were like this. This Prince Shenwu was one of the three great princes that originally helped Emperor Liang establish the Great Liang dynasty. The two were close friends, but the Lingdong Countess and Zhao Hanyan nevertheless did not get along at all. Zhao Hanyan's birthday banquet, according to Great Liang custom, was to allow the Ling Yan princess to select a husband. In short, the Lingdong Countess probably mocked Zhao Hanyan for something, and then Zhao Hanyan did not keep her cool and somehow mentioned Su Xing. This actually was not much. Originally, Su Xing had wanted to come, and Zhao Hanyan had naturally spoken to Emperor Liang beforehand. In any case, Zhao Hanyan did not know what she was thinking and spoke of Su Xing with extravagant embellishments, even talking big that the Lingdong Countess was not to fancy him upon seeing him, and so on. Su Xing was speechless. How can you blame this on this princess? That woman is honestly loathsome. Zhao Hanyan was red-faced. So you sold out your lord husband like this? Are you blaming this princess? You yourself surprisingly missed this princess' birthday banquet. Do you know how embarrassing this princess appeared at that moment, do you? Zhao Hanyan said furiously. Suddenly sensing an incorrect address, she hurriedly said, "What lord husband, you unexpectedly dare take advantage of this princess?" Su Xing could imagine how embarrassed Zhao Hanyan would have appeared at that time, and his heart softened. Then could it be that we are seeking her out now just to show me off? Su Xing felt this Zhao Hanyan was too childish. Dong Junqing gave Su Xing a very rare look of agreement. No, this princess wants you to seduce her. Zhao Hanyan's words were earth-shattering. Su Xing was wildly dizzy. You're treating me as a Casanova, how could there be a wife like you? Since you can have that many star generals following you, what does this count as? Zhao Hanyan snorted, a little bit of jealousy in her words. These are two different things. Even if I were to seduce her, I'd have to do it slowly. How can anyone do such a thing at first sight? Su Xing shook his head. Zhao Hanyan said, "You are a beast, sure enough. No matter, use as much time as you need. In short, you must help this princess take back this disgrace. Otherwise, this princess will take you down with her. I'm about to faint." She had even spoke of dying together in the name of love. Su Xing truly was defeated. Muttering to himself, Su Xing suddenly recalled something. "Hanyan, wouldn't it be better to compromise? How about it? Do you have a plan?" Zhao Hanyan and Dong Junqing both were taken aback. Zhao Hanyan uttered those words of anger and was somewhat vexed she did not plan that Su Xing could do something, but hearing Su Xing apparently actually had some means, the Ling Yan princess was immediately curious. "First, you tell me the matters of her family, then I'll do some thinking." Su Xing was not too certain. Their flying swords were en route, and Zhao Hanyan told Su Xing about Lingdong Countess Yi Lingxi's personality and livelihood. Because they had known each other since they were small, she could be counted as very understanding. Hearing that Yi Lingxi's personality was somewhat proud, Su Xing's eyes lit up. "Perhaps I have a way." "What way?" "How about I have her and her mother voluntarily kiss me?" Su Xing said. "Huh?" These words made Zhao Hanyan dumb as a wooden chicken. She felt that she may have misheard. To make Yi Lingxi kiss of her own volition inherently was not too possible, yet Su Xing unexpectedly had designs on Yi Lingxi's mother. He had to know that Madame Yi was but a cold and unreasonable person. "In short, can I or can't I?" Su Xing said. "You will get exactly what you look for, but are you mocking this princess' happiness?" Zhao Hanyan was doubtful. "To be frank, there must be some other arrangements, as well. Let's make a bet. If I can do it, you'll send me a kiss." Su Xing said. "Shameless. To be asked by you to do this sort of thing, Hanyan, don't you feel guilty?" Su Xing spoke up righteously. "Fine. If you can do it, but if you are unable to?" Zhao Hanyan mockingly asked. "Princess." Dong Junqing had a bad feeling. "If I can't do it, then whatever punishment you see fit." She could not hurt him, anyways. Humph, that is settled then. If you cannot accomplish it, then you will listen and obey this princess for one matter. Upon meeting Madame Yi, 5, for the first time, Su Xing only felt that the woman before his eyes exuded a mature charm from head to toe. Her stature was tall, and her plump chest and that beautiful countenance could very easily make a man's imagination run wild. Everything was fine except for one small defect, which was that sort of cold and destructive sense of beauty that evolved from within her. "Are you the man that Han Yen fancies so much?" The lady of the prince was taken aback. Watching Su Xing, she gently smiled, her expression very curious. "Your servant is Su Xing, as you see." Su Xing presented his etiquette. "You truly are very young." Madam Prince, 6, faintly smiled. "Madam also appears very young." A maid brought over black tea. Drinking a mouthful, Su Xing said to Zhao Hanyan, "Zhao Hanyan, go see your confidant, 7, Yilingxi. You may as well inform her that I await her inside the drawing room." Zhao Hanyan affirmed, her expression suspicious, not knowing what medicine Su Xing had shown off before she rose and followed the maid into the other room. The drawing room was very quickly left with 2 people. "The Ling Yan princess has named your distinguished self Su Xing as her one and only best man," Madame Yi said. "However, your distinguished self's figure was nevertheless absent from the banquet. Your servant was delayed because of an important matter. This time, your servant has come because he hears that Han Yan and the madam's daughter have a bet, so." Su Xing set down the teacup, speaking apologetically. The corner of Madame Prince's mouth flickered with charm yet also with disdain. "I even heard Lingxi say that Zhao Han Yan could make Lingxi fall for you. Falling for me is impossible, making her kiss me is just about it," Su Xing said. "To think of having a little girl kiss you, you truly are very self-confident." Madame Yi glanced at Su Xing. She was very proud of her daughter. "If Madame does not mind, then I shall properly teach her a lesson." "If Madame is willing to make a bet," Su Xing thoughtfully asked. "I shall wait and see." Madame Prince's reply was neither fiery nor warm. "Then that is very good." Su Xing smiled very craftily. When Yilingxi came to the drawing room, she caught sight of her mother talking cheerfully with a man for a long while now. This was the first time she had seen her mother smile so happily. Her heart warmed, and at the same time, she could not help but size up that man. That was a very youthful man. His appearance was out of the question handsome beyond compare yet very clean. To describe him as warm was very apt, but any way she looked, that excessively frivolous face of his did not match too well with his steadfastness. This was that man Zhao Hanyan spoke of. Yilingxi's heart suddenly had a sort of disdainful and mocking laugh. She honestly was incapable of believing that the man in front of her had any qualifications to be able to have her fancy him. Forcibly suppressing her heart's disdain, Yilingxi mockingly said, "So you are the man that Ling Yan Princess Zhao Hanyan spoke of?" There was a bang. "Regardless of whether or not you are putting on airs, disappear from my sight right now." Yilingxi gave her notice to leave. She already loathed this man. To surprisingly speak of having her kiss him. Dream on. Do you feel yourself a genius right now? Much of the knowledge on that is not something an ordinary person can figure out. You solve it. Su Xing leisurely said. Yilingxi's arrogant appearance was revealed no doubt. Su Xing raised an exam paper. Do you feel this world has nothing you can learn? Do you feel I need to learn something? Yilingxi spoke very haughtily. Su Xing blossomed with a splendid smile. He ripped apart the white paper, and a flame appeared out of thin air, immediately burning the exam paper into ash. Then I shall teach your talent some knowledge that is impossible to possess. Zhao Hanyan and Yilingxi expressed surprise one after the other. Knowledge that is impossible to possess. You speak nonsense. What knowledge does Liangshan continent have that I do not know of? Yilingxi sneered. If you feel you have lost, then in the future, treat people more courteously. Su Xing finally mentioned the subject. So long as you have the ability to make this countess do so. The Lingdong countess was disdainful. Will do. Su Xing said something to Zhao Hanyan, and the latter oddly walked outside. Yi Lingxi locked her brow, baffled. She followed Su Xing to the door. At this moment, Zhao Hanyan walked over and quietly said, Su Xing, the preparations are already finished. Just what are you thinking of doing? Quickly, now, do not deceive me. The following test is very simple. I shall have Zhao Hanyan instruct the maid and butler to wait on call where they are. When the time comes, you will have them enter together. The maid and the butler will enter the room at the same time, and we will guess who will be the first to enter the room. That is all. Su Xing said. Yi Lingxi was taken aback, not coming back to her senses. What is the topic of this? If you feel yourself very bright, then speak. The maid and butler are your families, you ought to have a greater advantage over me. This topic is very fair. Su Xing smiled. However, I can tell you beforehand, regardless of how you attempt this topic, you will always fail. Humph, you bluff. What do you think the result would even be? Yi Lingxi scoffed, the butler shall be the first to enter. Then call them into the room yourself. Su Xing shrugged. The butler and maid did not understand, so they walked towards the room together. Yi Lingxi stared at each and every one of their moves. When she saw the maid behind the butler, her heart breathed a sigh of relief. She could not help but cast a mocking expression at Su Xing. Although the butler and maid entered the room together, he very clearly forgotten a fact. That was that a maid's status was far lower than that of a butler's. When the two advanced together, the maid would subconsciously place herself behind the butler. By doing so, there was no question that the butler would be first to enter. Sensing this fact, Zhao Hanyan tightly clenched her fists, praying to herself. However, the butler and the maid's pace did not change at all. When the distance to the threshold was less than half a meter, Zhao Hanyan thoroughly lost hope. Yi Lingxi very much wished to admire this frivolous man's angry expression, however, when what she saw was a nonchalant, tea-sipping countenance, her heart was very furious. Just at the instant the butler was about to be the first to step across the threshold, Su Xing moved the cup away from the corner of his mouth and suddenly said, Butler, your shoelace is loose. Huh? Having been suddenly given this reminder, the butler first paused. Then, he promptly lowered his head to inspect his shoelaces. He immediately discovered that the boots he wore did not have shoelaces. In that instant he lowered his head, the maid behind the butler thus became the first to walk through the door. This surprise turnaround suddenly made the two girls dumbstruck. I do not have shoelaces. The butler deferentially said. The corner of Yi Lingxi's mouth twitched. How she wished to blow her top. Oh, I was mistaken. You are dismissed. Su Xing apologetically said. Oh. When the butler and maid saw the unsightly expression of their young lady, they were baffled, but they knew now was not the time for them to trouble her. When they left her line of sight, Yi Lingxi's fury immediately exploded. She roared, You cheat, how could you play such a trick? Did I say I couldn't? Su Xing innocently shrugged. Yi Lingxi was speechless. Indeed, he had only said to guess who would be first to enter, and he did not set a rule at all about not speaking. However, any way she thought about it, Yi Lingxi felt she had been played with. She indignantly said, If it was not for you speaking, then I would not have guessed wrongly at all. Now that you feel that what you have learned is not enough, have you started being tsundere? Su Xing coldly said. This is a dirty trick, I do not concede. Yi Lingxi ground her teeth. Fine, I will have you completely won over. Again, but this time, neither of us can say anything, how about it? No problem. Yi Lingxi was confident that if he had not spoken to delay the butler's pace, the victor right now would have been her. Su Xing calmly continued to drink tea amidst the chaos. This time, the butler and maid appeared to advance the same way as before, the maid still behind the butler. You cannot speak, let me see how you will manage this. Yi Lingxi smirked in her heart. Su Xing raised the cup at Yi Lingxi with a slight smile upon his face. This sort of smile that was full of confidence made Yi Lingxi exceptionally angry. Why was this man so confident? Zhao Hanyan had been left very dumbfounded by Su Xing's actions. Asking Dong Junqing, the steadfast star also did not understand. Although using a bet to humiliate the other party was not a bad method, the problem was that you needed a certain chance of victory. Now it appeared that Su Xing's current way of doing things was somewhat baffling. She completely did not know what medicine he was selling inside his gourd. 8. Especially now, what should Su Xing do? Zhao Hanyan was very curious. Could it be he actually could make a reversal like this? Just at this moment, Su Xing smiled, and he made a movement that made the countess and princess dumbstruck again. Su Xing's hand loosened, and the cup fell to the floor. An unimaginable scene occurred. After the cup fell, the maid suddenly quickened her pace, her speed exceeding the butler's. She rushed into the room, hastily stooped down, and brought out a towel to dry the floor, promptly apologizing to Su Xing. Yi Lingxi was thoroughly stupefied. This man, Zhao Hanyan, was speechless. Su Xing showed the maid a tender smile. The maid's face reddened, excusing herself after taking the cup. At this moment, Yi Lingxi finally regained her senses. She tightly bit her lip, very angry yet also extremely dejected. Su Xing indeed followed the rules and did not speak, but he deliberately dropped the cup onto the rug. By doing so, the maid's duty and instinct would urge her to rush over and clean up. Very naturally, she would enter ahead of the butler. Everything, he had completely exploited a person's psychology. Why you despicable, shameless cheat, from the very beginning, it was impossible for me to win, this test is not fair. Yi Lingxi very much wanted to curse him. She had never felt she would lose with a feeling so full of humiliation. Su Xing disdainfully evaluated her. The contents of today's class are that wisdom is everywhere, yet fairness will never exist. How does this count as wisdom? This is petty. Yi Lingxi did not accept this. To be able to make the you that is so full of wisdom taste defeat, you can still learn this sort of pettiness. Su Xing disagreed. Yi Lingxi was truly about to explode. Even if she was very adept at faking her mood, this time, she had no way to feign. Seeing her unreconciled appearance, Su Xing intentionally sighed, his tone slightly warm. I am only exploiting the person's psychological behavior, controlling the opposition's unconscious thoughts. I call it psychology, knowledge that this world does not have. Controlling unconscious thoughts. You were merely lucky this time. Yi Lingxi stubbornly refuted. You do not believe me. Do you believe that I can manipulate your mama into kissing me? Su Xing indolently said. Hey, does this man truly treat himself as a Casanova? Zhao Hanyan's expression cast out an admonishment. Yi Lingxi widened her eyes, loudly shouting, You are talking nonsense. On what basis would my mama kiss you? If you do not believe me, that is up to you, but I indeed had your maid enter the door first twice. On this, you lose. Zhao Hanyan is a witness. Fine, we shall stop here. Su Xing already did not wish to tangle with her any further. To be frank, Zhao Hanyan until now did not understand just what tricks Su Xing had in store. She was unable to connect this topic with a kiss. Yi Lingxi had unwillingness written on her face. Su Xing wrinkled his brow, his tone a bit displeased. What, could it be you actually want to make your mama kiss me that you do not believe me? This was but her first kiss, to have unexpectedly sent it away so disgracefully. Go do it now. If you cannot do so, this countess will not let you go. Yi Lingxi hatefully said. Yi Lingxi, you brought this upon yourself, yet you still wish to threaten him. Zhao Hanyan sneered very bluntly. Su Xing twitched his lips. Madam, you can come out now. Lingxi. Madam Prince walked out from the room, incomparably shocked. She had seen everything just now. Mother. Yi Lingxi's ears burned. She stubbornly said, he is a shameless pervert that wants you to kiss him. You absolutely cannot be deceived by him. Lingxi, Mama was wrong in the past. You truly have much more to learn. Madam Prince sighed. You have been unconsciously controlled by him, do you realize? Mother Highness, what are you saying? Yi Lingxi was at a loss. Madam Prince, will you comply with our promise? Su Xing chucked. The two girls smelled a hint of conspiracy. Madam Prince leisurely walked to Su Xing's side. Her stature was very tall, fully taller than Su Xing by a head. She whispered, you shameless pervert, I have never seen anyone more evil than you. No wonder the Ling Yan princess would hold you in such high regard. After she spoke, Madam Prince lowered her head and deep-kissed Su Xing by the lips. The Madam Ye's kiss brought a much more mature and lovely flavor. Yi Lingxi and Zhao Hanyan were completely shocked by the scene in front of them. Su Xing felt his lips. This Madam Yi honestly was sexy, surprisingly kissing his lips. It seemed he still was too pure. Mother, what are you doing? Yi Lingxi screeched. She truly was almost mad. How could her dignified and cold mother unexpectedly actually deep-kiss that bastard? Passing through the moistness of a kiss, the feeling of charm at the corner of Madame Ye's eyes was even more extreme. Mama made a bet with him. The course of events was this. While the two chatted in the lounge, Su Xing and Madame Yi made a bet. Su Xing said he would make Yi Lingxi personally kiss him. Of course, Madame Yi would not believe him. How could she not understand her own daughter's personality? Let alone this man, even when she stood before her father, the prince himself, Yi Lingxi never changed her face. Madame Yi was very doubtful her daughter's interests were very special. Subsequently, she very quickly accepted this bet. The bet was that you would kiss him. Yi Lingxi was in disbelief. Yi Lingxi, the Ling Yan princess man is certainly a dangerous character. Madame Yi pursed her lips, her eyes showing a bit of interest. Yi Lingxi grabbed a tea kettle and hurled it at Su Xing. You are a complete cheat. Bastard, bastard. Yi Lingxi was not a fool. She immediately understood everything. She even thought of the hints in Su Xing's language that lured her into kissing him. It could be said that from the beginning of the moment she entered the room, she was already like a lamb that had fallen into a trap. What was laughable was that she still did not perceive it. Su Xing glanced at Zhao Hanyan. The Ling Yan princess looked at the Lingdan countess' sunken heart with some sympathy. Madam Yi, Hanyan apologizes on behalf of Su Xing to little sister and the madam. Zhao Hanyan apologetically said. To be able to make Lingxi suffer a small lesson, it is worth the price. Madam Yi was very magnanimous. She gazed at Su Xing, her attitude not like that disdain from the beginning. The Ling Yan princess' eyesight is indeed extraordinary. I wonder from which sect and master you hail from. Your servant is a disciple of Zhu Yueka of the Four Styles School. Zhu Yueka. That tool refining sect master. As expected, you are talented, young and promising. Zhao Hanyan has other matters and shall take her leave. Thus, they left Prince Shenwu's mansion. Where did you learn that psychology thing? This princess has never heard of it. This princess is truly interested, for it to surprisingly be capable of trapping the Lingdong countess. Zhao Hanyan smiled. Zhao Hanyan, don't change the topic. Did you forget our bet? Su Xing was stern. Dong Junqing thoughtfully said, do you wish to take advantage of even the Ling Yan princess? Forget it, just treat it as your birthday present then. Su Xing chuckled. Zhao Hanyan suddenly flew in front of Su Xing. Both of her arms boldly wrapped around Su Xing's neck, and her red lips stuck to his, wrapping her tongue around his as they exchanged saliva. Dong Junqing watched from the side with endless jealousy. The pair passionately deep-kissed and embraced. Originally, their hearts had been planted with the 1,000-year intertwined branches. This kiss was simply a first rain after a long drought, as if they were sucking away each other's energy. Zhao Hanyan suddenly moaned, lowered her head to look down, and her face turned completely red. She saw that her jacket was wide open. One of Su Xing's hands had surprisingly climbed onto her underwear, softly kneading her breasts. The girl was surprised and pushed Su Xing away. Her arms covered her chest, and her brows rose. Su Xing, you are so audacious. And what haven't I already seen of your body? Su Xing shook his head. These words made Zhao Hanyan want to silence him for good. No more kidding. If there is nothing else right now, then I should go. Su Xing said. Su Xing, you honestly do not give this princess a single bit of face. Zhao Hanyan harumphed. Where do you want to go? The Black Turtle Territory. Perfect, let us go together. Zhao Hanyan nodded. Together? Su Xing did not understand why the Ling Yan princess would be so interested in tangling herself with him. Could it be she truly fancied him? Do you not have the Purple Star Outlaw Yangshan Jade Pendant? How many immortals' abodes have you opened? 1. Then good. The Purple Star Jade Pendant can open 3 immortals' abodes. Each one opened will possess a precious treasure. If this treasure is taken to the treasure feast, then the value will be priceless. However, the distances must be very far apart. This second immortal's abode will require going to the Black Turtle Territory in order to be opened. We can just so happen go together. Zhao Hanyan's beautiful eyes glittered, and her beautiful smile curved. Su Xing's brows wrinkled. What, do you want to decline this princess' good intentions again? Zhao Hanyan's face suddenly paled. Liked it? Going together is exactly what I've been looking for. I just so happen to be not too clear on the Black Turtle Territory. Su Xing smiled. Only then did Zhao Hanyan's expression warm up. However, this princess actually is not very clear either. Right, is that Lingdong Countess a Star Master? Su Xing suddenly remembered this question. Since she liked competing against Zhao Hanyan, could it be she was a Star Master? She is not a Star Master. Zhao Hanyan pursed her lips. But perhaps her elder brother is. Seeing Su Xing was very interested, Zhao Hanyan said, Yi Lingxi's elder brother Yi Futu is also a very interesting person. What do you mean? He was a genius in the study of martial arts ever since he was little. Originally, his name was Yi Tianxi, too, and he obtained Prince Shenwu's divine sword and other inheritances. Afterwards, he nearly died from his obsession with training. After he awoke, his cultivation had deteriorated into a cripple's. Thus, he changed his name to Yi Futu. Afterwards, this princess heard he was silent for a very long time. After the star duels began, rumor had it that he had possibly already signed a star duel covenant, because a star duel covenant can make anyone become a star cultivator. Yi Futu perhaps wants to make a comeback. You had best be on guard about him. Zhao Hanyan faintly said. Su Xing nodded. In the case a person who had passed through life and death and fell from grace received an opportunity to change his fortunes, indeed they would be a frightening opponent. Do you know about his star general? Su Xing asked. Yi Futu all along has not yet shown his face. This princess has only heard this from Yi Lingxi. Zhao Hanyan shook her head. Wrapping himself in mystery, huh? It seems he should have some capital. Su Xing smiled. Hanyan, just how many more star masters does your great Liang dynasty have? Might as well just tell me. According to what this princess knows, there are only 4, myself, Zhao Heng, Prince Feng Wu's Gong Kaiwei, Prince Shenwu's Yi Futu. Originally, this princess' third brother was also, however, he was too inferior and has already lost the qualifications. There is another prince? Not all the princes would be willing to send their own daughters into the star duels. Zhao Hanyan harumphed. From the way you say it, Emperor Liang is actually very courageous. Su Xing praised. The eldest princess and second crown prince each participating in the star duels honestly was no small matter. Zhao Hanyan's expression mockingly looked at Su Xing, glancing at him from head to foot, her eyes brightly glittered. That said, your cultivation actually progressed very quickly, unexpectedly already reaching supercluster stage. Did you have some happy encounter? Zhao Hanyan's brows rose. Thinking back to when she originally saw Su Xing, their cultivations were but separated by several levels. Now, Su Xing had already nearly caught up to her. This truly was unbelievable. Contracting 8-star generals, Su Xing actually felt this cultivation still counted as slow. Han Yan, you surprisingly already reached the peak of supercluster middle stage, which is also rather formidable. Zhao Hanyan softly harumphed. To have her current cultivation with a prehistoric spirit treasure the likes of the purple smoke confusing sky lantern, even if she had this, she was about to be overtaken by Su Xing. However, the Ling Yan princess did not carefully delve into thinking about this too much. Now that the third phase was already about to conclude, according to the conventions of the previous star duels, after Evil Smiting Hall passed, Star Masters' cultivations would all advance by leaps and bounds. Before the fourth phase commenced, next was the time for Star Masters to exhaust all possible means to advance their cultivations. Never mind, you seem to have so many star generals. You are an anomaly. This princess is disinclined to think about it. Su Xing said. Let's go to the Black Turtle territory right now. Time is already short. Oppressive footsteps resounded in the dark space. Great Saint Starkiller walked past the black corridor, his expression very grave. Great Blade Guaning followed behind him, her expression also very grim. Lining the passage, the dark purple torches lengthened the pair's shadows, appearing on the wall like demons bearing their fangs. It was as if every detail of the passageway was full of evil and insolence. The pair walked to a gate. The man guarding the gate coldly glanced at them. His cultivation had surprisingly reached supervoid stage. The grand supervoid cultivator unexpectedly watching over the gate made the atmosphere appear even more heavy. The main hall was a space full of purple fire. Gorgeous scripts decorated the entire room from top to bottom. These scripts were arranged according to some sort of pattern. Several meter-wide black chains were very conspicuous, just like a pitch-black python extending straight to the very top of the main hall, to a platform sheltered by a black canopy. Upon closer inspection, one would notice that the giant chains currently trapped a figure. The wide chains made that figure appear somewhat stooped. 2 men and 2 women stood beneath the platform, each emitting an aura that would make one feel ice-cold to the bone, as if they would shudder with just a glance from them. These 4 had cultivations that were supervoid middle stage and above. Devil Ancestor. 3. Great Saint Starkiller reverently said. To be able to have so many supervoid cultivators stand guard, across all of the Black Turtle territory, there was only one capable of doing so, the Black Turtle territory's first devil. This ancestor does not need this kind of flower in a mirror, moon reflected in a lake roundabout promise. 5. Devil Ancestor Black Underworld's voice was serene as a dagger. Ming Dai. 6. Give that thing to him. As you command. A graceful woman bound in black nodded and daintily advanced. In her palm was a black stone, like a multitude of glittering stars yet emitting a fiendish devil chi. Even with Great Saint Starkiller's current supercluster stage cultivation, he felt it was very unbearable. This is the 9 Nether Devil Star Stone. 7. Have your Star General forge it into her star weapon. Devil Ancestor Black Underworld said. 9 Nether Devil Star Stone. Great Saint Starkiller's pupils shrunk. The 9 Nether Devil Star Stone could be said to be the divine item of the Black Turtle Territory's devil cults. Weapons with the 9 Nether Devil Star Stone forged into them could render targets that were cut down in so much pain they would wish they were dead, suffering every possible torment. Afterwards, they would become supreme resentment, and the user could absorb this power and become even stronger. However, the 9 Nether Devil Star Stone at present was clearly different. If this was used to kill a star general, the more star generals the star weapon kills, the more powerful the star general's destined star weapon will become, even being able to be placed above an upgraded star weapon. Ming Dai explained. 8. Great Saint Starkiller was delighted. Was this not saying that in the future, when Guanning killed a star general, she could simultaneously upgrade her star weapon? This practically was super defiant of the natural order. Many thanks, Devil Ancestor. Suddenly, Great Saint Starkiller's expression was somewhat hesitant, but Guan Ying's personality is unyielding. Your servant does not know if she would use this Devil Star Stone. The 9 Nether Devil Star Stone would make the slain opponent suffer worldly pain. As far as the righteous and strict brave star was concerned, perhaps it was hard to accept. Ridiculous, how could the Grand Star Generals still be able to retain some benevolence? Ming Dai rebuked, if she does not dare abide, you just use command enforcement. By the time Guanxing tastes the power of the 9 Nether Devil Star Palace, she naturally will know that no one in this generation's star duels is her opponent. Hearing the woman's displeasure, Great Saint Starkiller hastily nodded in acknowledgement. Great Saint Starkiller, you are dismissed for now. Properly go prepare for the coming Black Nether Temple. 9. As you command, disciple takes his leave. After Great Saint Starkiller left, Ming Dai turned her head back, saying, Devil Ancestor, although this brave star is the chief of the 5 Tiger Generals, that personality honestly does not possess the disposition for ruthlessness. As Ming Dai sees it, that Guanning is perhaps disloyal. Is this not even better? Seeing the renowned brave star raised into a killing tool for our devil sect, the Liangshan Maiden's expression must be very marvelous. Another man softly spoke. Enough. You all may also take your leave. This ancestor is tired. Devil Ancestor Black Underworld calmly said. By your will. Su Xing and Zhao Hanyan flew towards the limits of the sea together. This flight was non-stop for 7 days and 7 nights. Different from the Azure Dragon Territory's fertile lads, the Black Turtle Territory's greatest characteristic was the extreme number of bodies of water. Various kinds of islands stood in great numbers. Its topography was broken up by the seas and islands into an extreme mess. It was for this reason that the absolutes in Liangshan continent's powerful aquatic demon beasts dwelled in the Black Turtle Territory's deep seas. The Black Turtle Territory's ley lines were far from as prosperous as the Azure Dragon Territories. For this reason, cultivators here trained exploiting the blood, bone, and even the organs and demon pellet, 10, of demon beasts. Demon pellets and the like were very common in the Black Turtle Territory, and it was because of this that the Black Turtle Territory's devil cults were extremely prosperous. Passing by every sort of crisis on the limitless sea, Su Xing and Zhao Hanyan finally saw the outer sea of the Black Turtle Territory. Cross Island. 11. The island's entirety was shaped like a cross, thus it got its name. On the islands were scattered dozens of homes of island dwellers. This was the first checkpoint island for those of the Azure Dragon Territory entering the Black Turtle Territory. After entering these grounds, that cross island's topography pointed in the 4 directions, making clear the 4 directions that cultivators could thoroughly enter the Black Turtle Territory. Continuously flying a course of 7 days and 7 nights, Su Xing and Zhao Hanyan were extremely exhausted. They were in urgent need of replenishment of their spiritual powers. Cross Island just so happened to have a weak ley line. Su Xing and Zhao Hanyan glanced at each other, and then they descended towards the island with tacit understanding. You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.